You're muted.
Well, welcome, world to Pub Sports. This is the best damn MMA show on the world, and we're talking about Seconds Out. Yes, the title of the show is Seconds Out. I'm your co-host, MMA Locker Room. I got a few other guests right here. I'm going to let them introduce themselves. So starting to the right of me, go ahead and introduce yourself to the people.
Is that me? Yeah.
That's you, Lenny.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm MMA Unhinged. I'm like a journalist for My MMA News. I interview fighters for myself. I've interviewed the likes of Mark Hunt, Monachita Vera, Nathaniel Wood, Brad Pickett, Fabian Edwards. The list goes on and on and on. I write articles. I report for My MMA News. I just stay busy in the MMA world. So basically, that's it. I just love what MMA and what it's about, and so that's all you need to know about me. Is I'm enthusiastic. I'm always up for a laugh, and I'll be giggling probably throughout the whole show.
Man, Lenny, it sounds like you do it all, right?
Yeah, I do all. I do articles. I do post-fight interviews, pre-fight interviews. I do like media day for Bellator for my for the company I work for. So yeah, I do it all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. With that being said, I mean, we all know who this man is down here. I mean, introduction need to be given. This is DFS by the numbers, man. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the people out there on Pub.
Yeah, what's up, guys? I'm DFS by the numbers. You can call me Brady here. I'm ready to be back on this channel. I've been watching some fights with you guys. Really fun on Saturday night. So ready to do this show here. We have a special guest you'll bring up in a little bit. I'm really excited for that as well, and ready to break down some fights too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're going to be talking fights tonight. Yes, we will. We're going to be covering all aspects of MMA, though. We're going to be covering UFC. We're going to be covering some Bellator. Of course, we're going to cover that UFC 254 predictions, man. But, I mean, before we get into that, I mean, we got a special guest backstage. You know, he's making his first-time debut here on Pub Sports. So I want everybody in the chat to give this guy some love, man. I mean, this is one of the tough UFC fighters coming from the Contender Series with 18 wins, 8 losses, 145 division. He goes by the name of the Native Psycho. Who do we got in the background, Lenny?
We got Jordan Griffin, 145-pounder for the UFC. Currently 3-1 in 1 win and 3 losses in the UFC. But you know, he brings the heat, he brings the excitement when he fights, and he's a really, really good fighter to watch, and he brings the energy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, Jordan Griffin, how you doing down there? You're on mute.
There you go. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm just at a burger place right now. We're about to go a little bit. So, how are you guys?
Man, we're good, man. Just getting this UFC show started, man. So, with that being said, man, how's your journey? How you doing right now?
I've been all right. Just fucking fixing my body up. That's about it. I just got my nose worked on last week, so I can breathe out of my nose now. That's nice. I haven't had that like my whole career, so hopefully get back in there. And I've been training light, and I get cleared tomorrow, and then hopefully they'll have me scheduled for January. So I'm looking to come back in January.
January, that's a nice time right there. I mean, they got some big events right there in that month. Is that the McGregor and Dustin Poirier card you're maybe trying to get on?
Yeah, that'd be great. Hopefully we can find an opponent and get things rolling. I'm kind of at a point where I fixed everything. You know, my nose works and my hands work. Maybe my back could be a little bit better, but I'm working on that. And I just want to get in there. I want to fight 3 times in 2021, and I need to win. I need to finish all of them. So,
man, I hear you on that. I mean, you came out of a close fight. A lot of people thought it was a debatable one. Me, myself, I had money on you. So, you know what my heart is at all the time with that. So, if that's being on the case, you won the fight to me. So that's the debatable right there. So, I mean, you were a pubic hair away from scratching out that win right there, Yeah. But, man.
And, the guy had he was a little bit younger than me. If we're talking about my last fight. And I don't think that really matters. I think I went back to what I was doing before. So, I'm gonna start training like 5-minute round or 5-minute rounds, like I'm fighting for a title fight. That's what I was doing, and when I was winning all those fights, is I was just fighting straight title fights. So I was training like I was gonna go and fight a title fight. I need to get back to that mentality, and that's kind of where my head's at now, going into the new year. So,
understand. Hey, for the people out there that don't know, you train at Rufus Sport with some of the best MMA athletes in there. I remember one of your stories about when I think your first day in the gym. Who did you have to spar with your first day at Rufus Sport?
Oh, it was Anthony Pettis. It's my first day. Yeah, I got called in to spar Anthony. I was like 18 years old. And yeah, it was like my senior year in high school or junior year in high school. And yeah, I had just started fighting. I think I was 4-0. And then they called me to spar Anthony as he was getting ready for Ben Henderson. So that was super cool.
Yep. Hey, so with that being said, Lenny, go ahead. I know you had a few questions you wanted to ask Mr. Jordan Griffin, so go ahead and kick it off.
Yeah, you said earlier that you was at a burger place, and I can't help but think, what's your order?
Oh, dude, we got here 2 minutes after the kitchen closed. So I'm not even getting a beer right now. I shouldn't be, but I am. My weight's pretty good, so I figured I'd treat myself, and I got a beer. But I ordered an IPA, so it's called Hazy IPA.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm drinking on right now.
Yeah, you also mentioned earlier that you got your nose fixed up. Could you walk us through the procedure and what happened for it to get fixed up and how long the process kind of took?
It took like 15, 20 minutes for them to fix it. They just did that crinoplasty where they put the balloon up your nose and widen out your sinuses. And then basically I've just been like clearing out my sinuses. Like, I have to do the flushes every day and stuff like that. So it's kind of crazy. All the blood and stuff that's been coming out of my nose, that's probably been stuck up there for years, just getting hit in the face so much. So,
yeah, I could imagine. I'm glad you healed up very, very good.
Yeah, I'm happy to be breathing. I was like, it's weird. Like I was grappling the other day and I was trying to like hold my breath. Like I was like, I couldn't breathe out of my nose. And I remembered I could breathe out of my nose now. So I like literally just started breathing out of my nose. But I was so used to like holding my breath almost when I was grappling that, yeah, it was a new experience.
Mm-hmm. So we'll talk about the division you're in, the 145-pound division, the featherweight division. And at the moment, that is full of prospects. It's so exciting at the moment. Probably one of the deepest divisions in the UFC at the moment. How exciting is that for you as a fighter who fights in the 145-pound division?
Yeah, you know what? I had a rough start. 1-3. I'm happy they re-signed me. They gave me another 4-fight contract. They like me. I just need to go out there and I need to show like what got me into the UFC. So. I think I was a little down about it at first, but you know what? I just being more positive and looking forward. I'm here. Both my legs work, both my hands work and arms work. Like, you know what? I got my nose fixed. Just got to get ready and show up and show out. And as always, dude, I'm trying to kill these fucking dudes, man. Like, oh, why didn't you just do this, that? I'm like, dude, I was trying to fucking murder them, but it just didn't work out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, man. I mean, you had one of the most impressive fights coming off the Contender series. I will say that. And then, I mean, after that, I want to take the people in the locker room with you. When you're walking out to that UFC fight, what's going on in your head? Is there a specific song that you play every time before you walk out? Is there a certain person you talk to on the phone? Is there a certain thing that you do every single time before you walk out the fight? Do you think like murder, kill, or like what's your mentality walking out?
Man, it's been so many different things, every single time, but I've done the walk so many times and it's almost like I've gotten too used to it where like I used to be like a little nervous. I think like my UFC debut, I was just like so nervous, like as if I was like a fresh pro that, even though I've had like almost 30 fights, I think now I'm just real relaxed, dude. Like I've been doing this for a while. And I know what I want. Like, I want to be top 10. I want to be number 1 contender. Like, I want to be champion. If you're in the UFC and you don't want to be a champion or you don't want to be the best, like, then you probably shouldn't be there. So I know what I want. And I think it's been a lot of, with me mentally and physically, I know I'm always there. I think right now it's really just been working on that mentality. I need to go back to the mentality that got me into the UFC. I need to go back to the mentality that won me all those fights when I was 1-3 as a pro. You know what I mean? So that mentality, that mean fucking, I'm going to rip your fucking face off and eat it. Like, that's what got me where I am. And I think I lost that for a little bit because you get in there and they're like, hey, we need you over here to do pictures. We need you. Like, I was so new to all that stuff that I was like, fuck. And my head wasn't in the game. So now I know everything. I go in there and now I'm just kind of like, okay, let's get this done. Let's get the weight cut done. Everything's better. And I think going into this next fight, like, yeah, I think it's going to go down. So.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. Mentality means a lot, right? Going into a fight. With that being said, though, like, did anything change in your training once you got to the UFC? Because it seems like you're saying you're going to go back to the ways that it was a little bit before or something like that. So, like, did anything actually change?
Yeah, it's just been rough with COVID and stuff like that. Like, a lot did change. So I went from, like, you know, training all the time with my teammates, and it just so much changed. COVID's affected everything. And then the gym shut down for a little bit. So it's just kind of getting used to this new COVID life of training. And for the most part, everything's pretty much gone back to the same as it was before. I've been training every day, and the days I can't train, I've been lifting. So right now, yeah, it's good. I just think COVID really threw a wrench into everything. You know what I mean? So I had and then plus just the guys that I was fighting, dude. Again, the mentality wasn't the same. Like, when I was King of the Cage champion, you're the champion and King of the Cage. You're the champion that's like 2 other promotions. Like, I was like, yeah, I'm the shit. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is, but I just like lost that mentality, dude. I showed up and I was just like acting like a fucking like amateur almost, or not acting like, but like.
So you went from acting cocky and confident to acting like, a little bit like a rookie. Like, what am I doing here, huh?
Yeah, like, dude, you dream about this all the time. You know, all I do is dream. Oh man, I'm gonna be in the UFC. I'm gonna look down. I have my UFC gloves on. Holy fuck, I'm here. And I just remember, like, one of my old managers. He was like, dude, when you make it to the UFC, because, you know, it's cool. I met all these different people that really supported me throughout the years. And one of them that really stuck out, he was like, Jason, he was like, yeah, when you make it to the UFC, man, don't make it to the UFC just to make it to the UFC and say you were there. Like, make it to the UFC and just fucking kill everybody. And I just, like, you know, I think about that. I'm just like, that's where my head needs to go. Like, I think about that all the time. So I think, yeah, definitely it's just been a mental game going back and forth. And I think losing is fucking crippling, you know, but at the same time, it's, you know, you live and you learn. So, you know, for me, I've lost before, you know what I mean? And I've come back. So it wasn't anything too bad, but I think in my head, I was like, oh my God, I lost my UFC debut. Oh my God, I lost my second UFC fight. And then I won the fucking third one. And I was like, cool, I won it with a cool submission. And then this last one, I make weight, I feel great. And then they're like, oh, your opponent backed out. I go home, and then they bring me back a week later, and I have to cut 20 pounds over again. Like, people don't just cut weight back to back like that. So it's just like, I've done it, though. You know, I did it. I did it. They paid me. But was it the smartest idea for me to do that? No. And that's on me. That's not on anybody else. You know what I mean? So I just have to start playing the game right and be smarter about the decisions I'm making in and outside of the cage, you know?
Yes, sir. Hey, Lenny, so just looking at the division and everything, how the 145 division is shaping up, who are some people that you would love to see Jordan Griffin take on? Because I have a few. I have 2. I'm going to throw them out there in a minute, but I want to see, who do you have in mind that you think Jordan Griffin should take on? And I know, Jordan, I know you're not that type of guy to just, you know, get on the mic and say, give me this guy, give me that. But I reached out to you a couple of months ago, and I was like, man, you just need to get on there and call your shots, man, because they're booking these cans to keep fighting, and you're the man. So, I mean, with that being said, man, like, who do you have in your eyes right now to fight?
Who do I have? I mean, not really. Anyway, I'll just fight whoever they'll give me, and that's kind of always been the problem. Is like, my manager knows that, like, if they give me somebody, like, I'll take it. I think right now it's just more or less timing. Like, sometimes they want me to take last minute fights, and like, that's one thing I need to like work my way around. Is I just need to be training so consistently that I train every day, but my weight, I wasn't taking care of my weight. So I'll walk around at like 170. I changed it up. I want to start walking around at 160. So I got down to 163 today. And that way, this upcoming year, like, if they ask me to fight, I'm just going to say yes. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'll go fight. A couple of the guys that, you know, I've been looking at, like, a couple of them went back up to 155. I wouldn't mind getting a rematch against Yusuf. I personally think, like, I was just fucking out of it from cutting that weight. I think Yusuf would be a good rematch, and realistically, and I know kind of what he's going to do. And I mean, even that, you look how he fought me, and then you look at how he like clowned every other person he fought.
Hey, for real.
Ige. Oh, I would love to go back and fight Ige, but I got to work for him. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, He blew everyone out the fucking water. He didn't blow me out the water. Like,
Not at all.
Those are fights I would love to get. And with the direction Ige and Yusuf are going, I'll see them again. I just need a fucking win. You know what I mean? So.
Go ahead, Lenny.
So I have a few in mind. I was going to go for someone my hometown, like my hometown country, who fights. I was thinking about Mike Grundy. That would be a good possible matchup. You know, you're both good on the ground. Mike Grundy fights in the 145-pound division.
Mike Grundy. I'll have to look him up.
He's good. He's wrestling. He's a wrestler. He likes to use a lot of wrestling. That's what he's kind of known for. And you're good at your jiu-jitsu is really good. So that's a good stylistic matchup. You probably keep it on the feet and try and outpoint him on the feet.
Nice. Yeah, it sounds good, dude. I got some for wrestlers too, man. I started slapping people. If you didn't notice, I like that.
Yeah. I remember that. Yes, I remember that. You was doing the Stockton slap down there.
Dude, that shit, it threw me off because I was like, oh, it's right there. And my coach is always like, just relax your arms, like, blah, blah. And I was like, cool. And I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to slap him. Like, he won't get off of me.
Yes, sir. What about a fighter like this? Darren Elkins. How do you think that you would match up with damage control Darren Elkins?
You know what? I'm not going to lie. They offered me Darren Elkins. They offered me to fight him in November 7th. And I wasn't able to take it because I had to get my nose fixed.
Oh, okay.
Darren Elkins, I was excited about the matchup. He's an experienced dude, and that's the thing. Like, people don't get you're in the UFC. If you're in the UFC, you're not any fucking route you go. You're getting all experienced dudes. I had to fight Chaz Skelly, which I'm fucking pissed about that one too. But it's like I fought Chaz Skelly, I fought Dan Ige. Like those guys went to decisions with me. Like you're gonna have to fight high level experienced dudes regardless. So I think Darren Elkins would be a great fucking matchup for me personally because he'll stand there and he'll just swing away, and then I'll stand there and I'll swing. If you've seen any of my fights, like I'll stand there and I'll swing off. So it's just like I think that would be a great one.
Okay, man, that's interesting to know they actually offered you that fight too.
Yeah, and they got him another opponent. I mean, it sucks for me because I'm like, hell yeah, I want to make them money, but I want to make the money and I want to get the win. You know what I mean? But you even look at the last dudes, like that dude's no joke in his own. Like you look at the last 4 dudes he fought, he lost against them, but they're all top dudes in the division. So there's no fucking joke, and that's why like people could be like, oh well, he's off a 4 fight losing streak. Yeah, against what, the champion and 3 other dudes who are top 10 or top 15. So everyone's good in the UFC, dude.
All right. Yeah, man. I hear you 100% on that, man. 100%. One other name I like to throw out there, a lot of people are familiar with. How do you feel you would match up with Bruce Leroy, Alex Caceres?
I've seen him before, and my old teammate, Sergio, didn't he fight Sergio?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I think that'd be good. I mean, me and him are like the same, how tall is he? I'm 5'10".
Let's see.
Real.
I want to say 6'1".
Yeah, he's tall as fuck. Like,
yeah.
You know what? I think he'd bring the energy, and I'd be down for that too. That'd be a great fight as well. So, I mean, he'd definitely bring the energy, and I mean that dude's a beast. Did he move? He just moved up to 145 from 135, right?
Yeah,
Correct.
he did fight at 135 for ages. Then he moved up. Yeah.
Wait, he moved up to 55 or 40? Or
No. He's fought. He started his career at 135, then moved up to 145.
Oh, okay. Yeah, dude, that guy's a fucking beast. And again, it's just kind of like whoever they give me, like it's just about getting ready for that person and kind of adjusting my game around. So.
Yep. And then I'm gonna just take one more question from the viewers that we had out there in the chat. Then I'll let Lenny ask one more question. Then we'll just get into some of the fights on the UFC 254 card. Pretty much just the main card, Khabib, and a couple of events, and we'll just get your takes on that. You okay with that?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So somebody in the chat had Ziggy Mac Dre wanted to know. So since you walk around at like 160, 170, would you ever consider moving up or moving down a weight class?
I've considered going down to 135 for a while, but it's extremely hard for me to like even make 145. So like I would like to eventually move up to 155. And people are, oh, you're too small. But dude, I fought at 170. When I first started fighting, I walked around at 190 pounds. I could bench 265. So like, it was like, yeah, I got stretch marks to prove it. Like I was like a big. Then like now my mom's always trying to feed me. She's like, you look like you're tired. You look like you need to eat. Just because I fought at 170, 155, and now 145. So I think realistically at 155, I feel the strongest. I feel amazing. And I still have strength to go with a guy who's like, at 185 pounds, 205. So yeah, 155 is ideal for the future, but I think right now I'm trying to master the 145 and move up from in that division.
Go ahead, Lenny.
Yeah, so my question was, since you dropped at a split decision, was it a split or unanimous decision in your last fight? I can't remember off the top of my head.
Unanimous, yeah.
Unanimous decision in your last fight. What Jordan Griffin can we expect to bounce back in your next fight?
Dude, I need to come out and I just need to pull the trigger. I need to come after people and pull the trigger. I'm not going to be lunging at people so much. Like I like tend to like find my spot and I'll lunge forward with a cross and I lunge in, but I end up giving my back up and all this other shit. So I'm trying to take this like a better approach when I come in, a little bit more, how do you say that? Not cautious, but like I still want to throw when I come in. I just don't want to lunge into stuff anymore. But I do want to just start letting my hands go. Like best example is like Max Holloway against Ortega, or Ortega in his last fight. Like he's just coming forward, punch, slipping.
Man.
Like I need to be more engaged with my body, and I need to just be more engaged in the. Hello?
So you want to kind of come in with like a volume-based striking, but you want to be also controlled with your striking. So you don't want to like rush your work. You want to stay composed, pick your shots, sort of something like that.
Yeah, for the most part.
Makes sense, man. I'm gonna tell you like this. I can't wait till you're back in that octagon ring. January, definitely. Right when you're beginning there. Hopefully, you can come back on Pub Sports. We could do another little interview, promote the fight for you, man. Because we're all native Psycho fans over here.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, for sure, man. I'll let you know when when they will, or you'll see on my posts. I'll let you guys know, and we can schedule something before.
All right. So now let's get into the big enchilada right here. I'm talking about UFC 254 on Fight Island, Abu Dhabi. We have the man himself, Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Justin. I shouldn't have been here, Gaethje. How do you guys think this one is going to play out, man? We got a lot of good fights on there. So I'm going to just go ahead and bring up the card first. So, this is what we'll do. We'll start off top to bottom. Since we're going to be going over the top main fights, then I'm pretty sure you're going to leave after the main card because Brady has to leave as well. So we'll just start with the top main fights on the main card. We're not going to work our way from the bottom. We're going to give you guys the big enchilada starting off. And starting off with the main event, I'm talking about undefeated Khabib versus Justin Gaethje for the title. Brady, DFS, come on, man. Give the people some predictions and breakdown on this one. How do you think this fight's going to play out?
Yeah, I'm really excited for this fight. This is probably the fight I'm most looking forward to for this year. And it's just a fascinating matchup. I see a lot of people out there picking Justin Gaethje. A lot of people saying that this could be Khabib's hardest matchup so far. And maybe it can be. But for this matchup, there's just a lot of question marks. There you go. There's just a lot of question marks surrounding Justin Gaethje in that wrestling. He supposedly has a wrestling background, but we haven't seen it inside the UFC. He has been taken down a couple times, but other than that, we haven't really seen his wrestling tested. And this is a matchup where his wrestling will be tested by Khabib. And just watching tape on Khabib, it really is a beautiful sight to see. He's really good at pressuring. He cuts off the cage, and he knows what he wants, and that's to take the fight down to the ground. But when Khabib's striking, a lot of people really underestimate his striking. He's a good striker. In this matchup, I don't recommend he strikes with Gaethje, but I think he can. And but like I said, don't do that for a long period of time because Gaethje can knock your lights out. But in this matchup, I got to go with Khabib. I've never picked against him. 20-0. Going for 29-0. I think this could be, semi-competitive for the first couple rounds, but Khabib is someone who just wears you down. He takes you down. He grinds you out. And I know Gaethje looked fantastic against Tony Ferguson. His cardio looked good going to the later rounds, but, Tony Ferguson and Khabib are two different fighters. This is going to be a completely different matchup. I do think Khabib's going to take him down. I do think Gaethje gets up the first couple times, but I just think Khabib's going to keep taking him down, grind him out, and eventually get him out of there in that fourth round. And I do like Khabib. I have him in a parlay. Gaethje definitely has a chance. If he has a chance, I think it's going to be early, but, Khabib has shown very, very good durability. So I got to go Khabib here, and I'm fairly confident. It's a really good fight. I'm really looking forward to see how it plays out.
Man, yes, sir. So, I mean, you said you got a little play on it. So, so right now, just to give the people some fight odds, you got Khabib opening up at a -335, and then you got the comeback on the dog. Justin Gaethje at a +275 right there. So, what line did you take him at in your parlay?
So I got him in a parlay with Miranda Maverick, and on that parlay, I got -150. I got it earlier in the week. I think it's like -165 now, but I like that parlay quite a bit at -150 for both of those fighters.
Yes, man. Quick question. So Justin Gaethje never uses his wrestling, right?
Nope.
Would you think that he would pull it out in this one fight?
I think he's going to need to use his defensive wrestling, but as far as taking Khabib now, I don't really see that happening. But you never know. I'm really excited to see Gaethje's game plan going into it.
Man, well said right there. Well said. So you're all on Khabib right there. I'm gonna kick it off to MMA Unhinged. So how do you see this fight breaking out, man? Like, is it gonna go the 5 rounds? Are we gonna get a submission in there by Khabib? Who's gonna be able to be the one to enforce their will on the other fighter and walk out with the championship belt?
What's so interesting about this fight is that they both bring pressure. Gaethje brings pressure, but his pressure is more aggressive. And Khabib's pressure is more his wrestling style based pressure, shooting at your legs, going for a double leg, going for a single leg. He switches it up, goes for a trip. He does anything you want. And once in a while, he throws the overhand right, the wrestler's overhand right. But yeah, the pressure meets pressure, and this is going to be a really fun fight. It's definitely going to be. I think it will go the 5 rounds. I don't think we'll see a finish because Khabib doesn't have the power like Dustin Poirier or Eddie Alvarez. We ain't going to see him like land a huge shot on Gaethje. What's going to wobble him? So I think it will go to 5 round distance, and we'll probably see Khabib taking the win by unanimous decision.
That's about now. So 2 on Khabib right there. Okay, all right. Once he is going the decision, Brady, how do you see this fight playing out? Do you think the fight's going the distance?
Yeah, I think that Khabib's going to grind him out and get Gaethje very, very tired and eventually get him out there with the submission. I know he doesn't have that power, but just wearing on him, I think he's going to eventually give a sub up towards the end of the fight.
All right, so we got 2 on Khabib right there. Well said, MMA Unhinged. Now I'm going to kick this one over to Jordan Griffin and get his insights, on how he sees this fight playing out because, wow, this is – I'll be honest. I'm a little bit more excited to see this fight now than I am to see Khabib versus Tony. I feel like they played us too many times with that fight and got our hopes up to where, you got used to seeing that fight. This seems like something new now. How do you feel about it, Jordan?
I think that Gaethje brings something new to the table. I had the pleasure of watching him train, and I was on the same card as him in the Minneapolis one where my opponent didn't show up. So I watched him fight when he fought Cerrone. And that was awesome. I just asked him if I could come in and just watch. And he was like, yeah, sure. He's super cool, dude. But I think that he brings something new to the table for being a wrestler. 1, he throws volume. And then 2, he throws leg kicks. And you don't see other wrestlers out here doing that right now. You know what I mean? And I think that really messes people up because they're looking down because he just kicked the shit out of your legs. And then he blasts you, with punches and he throws volume. So I think that that's something that Khabib has, that's different because nobody's really done that to him. I don't think so. So I think Gaethje's gonna throw a lot on the feet. I think Khabib's going to throw a lot on the ground. Although we did see Khabib with that overhand right, against against McGregor. I still think that Gaethje. I have Gaethje as an underdog coming out on top. To be honest, in the later rounds, 4 and 5.
4 and 5. Okay. So you got it inside the distance, and you got Gaethje. Money on Gaethje.
Yep. I
Well
think he's going
said.
to finish him, too, to be honest. I mean, it could. I really do think he's going to finish him. It just because it's nothing. I mean, think about it. He has a wrestling background. Dude, I saw that guy. I saw him training, and I was like, there's so many different ways. I was like, man, is he going to use any jiu-jitsu? No, he's just like straight wrestler that punches and kicks people. And I just think that that's a big problem. Like if his wrestling can match or better Khabib's, and he throws with the volume that he throws along with the leg kicks, that's a problem. Especially if Khabib can't take him down.
Definite, man. Man, so I'm gonna just say it like this. I mean, Khabib's coming into the fight. I think this fight is tailor-made for him. He's fighting a guy that's just gonna keep him on there and just try to strike. He's not this is the other thing about it. This plays out perfect for Khabib. Never lost a round in the UFC yet, I believe. Justin Gaethje, on the other hand, I mean, if you're talking about violence in the hands, that's him. If you're talking about a man who can get it done and is going in there relentless of anything, that's him. The only thing is this. We haven't seen too many wrestlers fight Justin Gaethje in the UFC. Everybody that they line him up with is pretty much strikers. We haven't seen,
you know? Think about that.
So, like, that's my only thing. We haven't seen that guy who's just going to go for takedown after takedown after takedown. You know, I think he came in fight of the night against Michael Johnson. I mean, we all remember that one. It looked like he was going to get knocked out, then knocked him out. So, I mean, he definitely has some impressive wins on his background and stuff. But after that, I believe he went on to fight Eddie Alvarez, took the L. Dustin Poirier took the L. Fought James Vick. He's not a wrestler. Fought Barboza. Definitely not going to grapple. Fought Donald Cerrone. His wrestling days are over with. So, I mean, Tony Ferguson gave him the fight that he wants. So, I think on this one, I think this one's tailor-made for Khabib right here to go ahead and get the win. But I will agree with the point being said that you made, Jordan. I think Justin Gaethje is going to go in there and try to knock this guy out. That's the difference, I think, with a lot of people that fight Khabib. They just go in there and try not to get taken down. Yeah. You know, I think Justin's coming in there to implement his game plan, right?
Yeah, you have to look at the damage he takes, though, too. Like, he's able to take a significant amount of damage and still fuck people up. Like, it's crazy. Like, I'm like, holy shit, this dude's done. He's a goner. And then all of a sudden, he just, like, fucking, before you know it, you see him backflipping off of the cage. You know what I mean? It's just like, you're like, what just happened, you know? So I just think that Khabib hasn't been there. Gaethje's been there. Gaethje, you know, Khabib hasn't worked his way out of trouble yet, at least as far as I've seen. And Gaethje has been there, and I think that's going to be his, you know, that I think that's Khabib's kryptonite. Is Khabib's going to think he has him, and then Gaethje's going to do his freaky little thing where he fucking blasts out of nowhere and finishes him.
Man, so I mean, you got money on the dog right here. I mean, let me ask, are you a gambling man, or would this be actually a fight that you would be enticed to make a gamble bet on?
I put $25 on Gaethje at the casino.
Nice.
I can't even remember what the winning is. He's an underdog, but yeah, I think it was like I'll make like $100 back or something like that. It's not a whole lot, but
yeah, I mean, that's money right there. I mean, because he's a plus 275 underdog. And for the people out there, if you're trying to make a book, you can use mybookie.ag. If you guys use it, they will match your guys' promotion that you guys put up with Bitcoin as well. So definitely, if you guys are looking for a bookie out there, it's going to be mybookie.ag.com.
Do they use straight money, or do you have to use the Bitcoin?
I believe you can use both, but they match it. They give you a 100% match bonus when you do use Bitcoin.
Oh, okay. I don't really understand Bitcoin yet. That's why like Bovada was out on there trying to like do the Bitcoin stuff, and I just stopped using Bovada altogether because they were trying to do all that stuff. So I was like, whatever.
Got it. Okay. So let's just roll on down the card, man. I'm gonna be honest. This fight right here to me is gonna be the fight of the night. I'm a big fan of one of these guys on here. I'll get to that in a minute. But I'm talking about the co-main event at middleweight 185. I'm talking about Jared Cannonier, the Killer Gorilla versus Robert Whittaker. This fight is taking place. Jared Cannonier coming in with 13 wins, 4 losses. Robert Whittaker coming in with 21 wins and 5 losses, coming off
Yeah,
that
you're coming back in?
Yeah, I'm just gonna get
Darren
them real
Till
fast.
in his last fight. And Jared Cannonier was coming off an impressive win over Jack Hermanson in his
God, how
last
did they
fight.
walk right by me?
So MMA Unhinged.
Yeah.
How do you see this fight playing out on the co-main event with Robert Whittaker and Jared Cannonier?
Man, this fight is a barn burner, mate. I can't wait for this fight. These two are going to go at it. Robert Whittaker getting a decision win over Darren Till in his last fight. He looked good. But in that fight, we saw two specialists on the feet. Robert Whittaker, Darren Till, both cancelling each other out, both fainting. If you watch that whole fight, they're just fainting for the whole 25 minutes, waiting for someone to bite. None of them bites, but they, Robert Whittaker took it to a decision, pointed them out, took it to the judges, won the judges on judges scorecard. And Cannonier, since being at 185 pounds, he looks refueled. He looks so good. He has power in them hands. He's brought them heavyweight power all the way down to 185 pounds and looks incredible. I can't wait for this fight. He looks really good at 185 pounds, and we get to see how good Cannonier can be at 185 pounds. If he wins this fight, he can definitely challenge for Izzy's belt.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, man, I'm liking what I'm hearing from you, man. So I'm going to go ahead and kick it to DFS Brady by the numbers. Who do you got in this fight, man?
Yeah, this is the toughest fight on the whole card, in my opinion, to call. I mean, I see a lot of people really confident on either side, and I'm not one of those people. Just looking at the skill sets, I think Whittaker is a better fighter. I think he's the better wrestler. He throws more output. I think he's the better striker. But, some things we got to think about is Cannonier's power. And I do think that's a big factor. And also the chin of Robert Whittaker, because we've seen in like his past 4 fights, this dude's getting dropped like 2 times each fight. He even got dropped in the Darren Till fight as well. So as much as I want to go with Whittaker, I just see at some point Cannonier probably knocking him out. So really I'm kind of, flipping back and forth on this one. I think that if Cannonier does not get the finish, that Whittaker is going to get it done by a close decision. But, every time I play it out in my head, I just see Cannonier getting that knockout. So not going to take a bet either side on this. I see a lot of people laying action on each side. I can't be one of those people. So this is a big pass for me. I'm going to sit back and watch it. But the lean is Whittaker because I do think he's a better fighter. But, man, I'm not betting on that chin, and I'm not betting against the power of Cannonier.
Yeah, as you mentioned there, that Whittaker is the better wrestler. But he fought Jack Hermanson in his last fight, and look what happened there. You utilized the uppercuts as Jack Hermanson was coming in to shoot for his legs. Cannonier used his power to come in with that uppercut and hit him sweet on the chin and finished him on the ground and pound. So the thing is about Cannonier, his ground and pound is very underrated as well. He's got really, really good ground and pound. And if Cannonier knocks down Whittaker and he wants to get the ground and pound, we could see probably a bad stoppage against Robert Whittaker.
I hear you. I like what I'm hearing. So Jordan Griffin on this one right here. You got Robert Whittaker versus Jared Cannonier. How do you see this one playing out?
Man, I don't really know Jared. Like I haven't seen that guy fight, so I'm just gonna go with Whittaker.
Got it. Going with the guy you know, right?
It's really weird. Like I don't follow. I don't really follow a lot of MMA fighters. I either follow my teammates and stuff, or there's maybe very few that I'm a super big fan of. I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to meet that guy. But other than that, I don't really follow MMA that much anymore. So.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, you're in the game, you know what I mean? So it's like the NFL and the NBA players, once you're playing in the game, some people don't even watch it no more, you know what I mean? Because you're in that realm. So I understand, you know what I mean? Too many fighters to keep up with nowadays. But
I have a do-rag for my beard.
Oh man, that's the new look right there, man.
I'm about to go-karting.
Oh yeah, man. It's pedal to the gas. So on this co-main event, man, you got Jared Cannonier. He opened up at a -110. It was pretty much a pick'em price on any fighter. I waited till the money got a little bit plus money, so I got Jared Cannonier.
Where did they go? They go to the bathroom?
So on this fight right here, Jared Cannonier, when it comes down to it, this guy started off at heavyweight, went from heavyweight, light heavyweight to middleweight. His only 2 losses at light heavyweight, one was against the champion, and one was against the guy who they thought should have been the champion. He only lost to Jan Blachowicz and Dominique Reyes at light heavyweight. Moves down to middleweight. made money on this fight. He takes on David Branch and starches the guy. I mean, he just kills that guy in there. Right after that fight, don't worry. After David Branch moves on to one of the best fighters ever, Anderson Silva, takes him on in his hometown, kicks him so hard, Silva just falls to the ground. The ref stops the fight. They're booing Jared Cannonier like they just killed their superhero in Brazil. Man, I'll never forget that fight. Then after that, takes another step up in competition against Jack Hermanson. I'm real high on Jack Hermanson. Jared Cannonier comes out there, starches him again. So, I mean, I'm all in on Cannonier right now. I was mad that he got hurt a couple of months ago. He was supposed to fight Darren Till, I believe, in March. So, I'm all on Cannonier right here. And major respect to Israel Adesanya for already giving him that shot, saying, I want to fight Cannonier. He should be the guy that gets this title shot, you know. So, I'm all in line on that fight right there, man.
Do you want to know something crazy?
Go ahead.
In his debut for the UFC, he weighed in 235 pounds.
Wow.
And now he fights at 185 pounds. The weight he's dropped, and he's dropped it so well, and now he looks phenomenal. He looks so in shape. And if you watch him bedded, Michael Chiesa walks past him.
Hey, guys, I got to get going. I'm about to race.
Oh, no worries. Hey, Jordan Griffin, go ahead, man. Tell the people where they can catch you out on your Twitter and on your Instagram and everything like that.
Hey, so you guys can follow me at Jordan Griffin 29 on Instagram and Twitter. And, yeah, just check me out. I'll be fighting sometime in January or February. Hey, thanks for having me on here, guys.
Love having you all, man. You get those wins. All right, man. So that was Jordan Griffin right there. I mean, you know, UFC fighter for the first show to kick it off and give us some predictions and stuff. Not a bad look, but I'm so glad that guy has another contract in the UFC. Big fan of mine right there, man. So, yeah, I mean, just moving on down the card. This fight right here, Volkov versus Walt Harris. Alexander Volkov opened up on the books at a -200. I believe Walt Harris, money was coming back on him at a +135. Big fight right here coming up for both of these guys, both coming off a loss, trying to rebound and get back in the winning field. Brady, how do you see this fight playing out? And let the people know maybe if you have some plays on DraftKings or anything.
Yeah, this is another really good fight here. And, you know, typically on DraftKings, like you mentioned, you do want to target these heavyweight fights, but Volkov isn't really a finisher. But in this matchup, I could see a late finish. And as far as the matchup goes, like, I just think the skill sets of each fighter are, you know, there's a decent margin between them. I think Volkov is the much better fighter here. But the thing about Walt Harris is he's very dangerous. He is 13-8. You know, Volkov is 31-8. So I do think Volkov's the much better fighter, but some concerns are, you know, the power of Walt Harris. And, you know, the matchup, like Volkov is going to have a 4-inch reach advantage. He's going to have a 2-inch height advantage. And I do think Walt Harris is going to struggle with that. And a lot of people think that Volkov is chinny. I mean, he's only been knocked out twice in 39 fights. Walt Harris has been knocked out 3 times in like 21 fights. So if anything, I do think his chin's fine there. I think Walt Harris is going to come out fast. If he does not get that early knockout, I just see Volkov taking over, most likely a late round finish there. And I do have a play on Volkov. I have him in another parlay here. I got it at like -180. I think the line's like -190, something like that right now. But I am pretty confident in Volkov because outside of a first round knockout, I don't see Walt Harris getting it done here.
Man, I'm loving what you're hearing. I'm loving what I'm hearing so far coming from Brady. Got to play on Volkov. So do I. Has a play on Khabib. So do I. Man, I'm loving the way this is sounding so far. But what about some numbers on DraftKings? I know you got your own DraftKings show coming out, I want to say in the next couple of days. But what's the numbers like on DraftKings and who would be playable?
Yeah, I mean, Walt Harris is definitely playable. He's 7,600, a nice underdog play because it is heavyweight and these guys do hit hard. So, yeah, if he gets a knockout, he's going to be on the optimal lineup. But Volkov is kind of interesting because he does have very high volume for a heavyweight. He lands over like 4 significant strikes per minute. And he does have some power, not much of a finisher, more of a decision guy. But I think if Walt Harris does slow down and does get tired like he did in that Overeem fight, that, you know, Volkov can most definitely get a late finish. So I'm going to have a decent amount of both guys, but I'm more on the Volkov side at 8,600.
Got it. Okay, and that's not a bad price tag, right?
Yeah, not bad. Right in that mid range there. So yeah, I think if he can get that 3rd round finish or even a 2nd round finish, can definitely hit value.
Yes, sir. MMA Unhinged. How do you see this one playing out?
The length of Volkov is going to be crucial in this fight. I think it's going to be a similar fight to him versus Greg Hardy. Volkov just kind of stuck to his jab, stuck to the basics, 1-2 straight down the pipe, and I think that's what we're going to see. But Volkov can't let Walt Harris get close because we've seen his power. Just ask Oleinik how powerful he is. You know, he got knocked out in a few minutes or a few seconds, I think. It was like 20 seconds in the fight and he got knocked out. But yeah, so Volkov's got to stick to his jab, keep him at distance. Don't let him, when he gets to the cage, circle out, meet him straight back into the center. But you can't let Walt Harris get close. If Walt Harris gets close, you're in for a bad night. Who do I see taking the fight? I say maybe Volkov. I think Volkov is going to stick to his jab, stay all night and just stick there, stick and move, 1-2 down the pipe. Just stick and move, circle it round the cage, and we're just going to see him take a decision that night.
Got it. Okay, both on Volkov. I mean, so with that being said, Walt Harris comes into the UFC. He has some decent wins. I don't think that he has enough experience to get this done, period. I think Volkov's the better fighter. I think his ground game's a lot better. And like you said, if Walt Harris doesn't get it done in the 1st round, he's pretty much a wrap. I'll even go on to another message. If he doesn't get it done in the first 3 minutes, he's probably going to be done. He's one of those guys. He can come out there. He can end anybody's party real quick. But after that real quick is over, the party's going to be beginning for Volkov because Walt Harris just doesn't have the gas tank right now. And coming out there in Abu Dhabi, it's going to be a tough one. So I'm all on Volkov. He came out at a -200 on my book. What I do, I sat back, waited patiently. The line dropped to a -160. I put a straight play on him, not too and that's one of my more confident plays on there right there. So I got a half unit Alexander Volkov to get the job done. Go ahead, bet your lunch money on it right now. That's one of the plays right there. And then just one other thing. So for the people out there, so we all see this not going the distance, correct? How do you see this going the distance, the whole 15 minutes or not?
Yeah, I think I see it. I see it going distance. I think Volkov, as DFS mentioned earlier, he's not really a finisher. He's finished two fights in his UFC career, and I think he's just going to stick to his jab. It's going to be quite a similar fight between him and Greg Hardy. Greg Hardy is a power puncher, wants to get in close, wants to knock his head off, and you know what I mean. And so Volkov is just going to stick to his jab, not let him get close, and just kind of utilize his length and you know. I don't know what word I'm trying to look for, but he's just going to stick to his jab, stick to his basics, do his 1-2, maybe throw a hook in there, maybe even try a knee. You know, when Walt Harris comes in, because he's got the length, he might as well just throw a knee up straight up the middle. You know, it could catch him. You know, just surprise Walt Harris. I don't think Walt Harris would expect Volkov come with a knee straight up the middle. So yeah, I see it going the distance.
Got it. And your boy Boston Nick is out there. He's saying that he hopes Walt wins. Tell you, Boston Nick. If Hope won a fight, man, if Hope won a fight, man. But yeah, man, I'm with you on that. I think majority of the people is with you on that. You know, we just want to see him win. You know, he has that story that we all know about. We're not gonna bring it up here, but yeah, man, I'm with you on it. I mean, if he wins, yes, it's a good side to the story. But with all that being said, I'm trying to make this money, so all on Volkov on that one right there. Man, moving on down the card. I mean, wow. All right, let's go. So I'm talking about, let me hype it up. I'm talking about Phil Hawes, 8-2, former 2 times on the Contender Series, is on the main card versus Jacob. Who the fuck is that guy? Malkoun, with 4 wins, 0 losses, fighting out of Australia, New Zealand. Wow. You made the main card on UFC 254. I'm going to just throw it out there. I always have this little philosophy. Dana White puts a lot of his fighters from the Contender Series on the main cards and above fighters that has a well-known record on the prelims. I don't know what it is, but I think he's trying to debut these people as the rising stars in it. And I think this might be another one. Brady, you're the guy who predicts everything. You're the guy by the numbers. Man, do you know anything about Phil Hawes' opponent?
Yeah, so this is really interesting, and I'm kind of like curious, like why is this on the main card of UFC 254? Like from a name value perspective, but just looking into the matchup, I can see why they put it on here. This fight is going to be exciting. This fight is going to probably end within the first round and a half here. And yeah, there wasn't much tape on Jacob Malkoun, but from what I've seen, he's actually pretty technical. He looks like a really decent fighter. But Phil Hawes, he has that wrestling, he has that power. He's finished 100% of his fights. And, just based off of not knowing too much about Malkoun, it's kind of a tough fight to call, but I am going to go with Hawes, although there are those question marks with his opponent. Hawes has that wrestling. He has that finishing ability. The problem with Hawes is he does slow down and he can be susceptible to be finished himself. He has been knocked out once. He's been submitted once. And really, if he doesn't get the job done in the first round, I do kind of worry for him. But I am picking him to win. Probably some type of a first round finish here. Just get that wrestling, get that takedown, land some ground and pound, get Malkoun out of there. But if it does not get him out of there, it could be a dicey fight. And I think he's a pretty big favorite. I don't have the odds up, but I don't really want to be laying. I think he's like minus 250, something like that, on Phil Hawes, although it's going to be a good fight. If I would have a play on this, it might be like the under. If it's set at under 2.5, yeah. If it's set at under 1.5, maybe. But I do expect this fight to end early.
Yeah, man. Well said. I mean, yeah, Phil Hawes opened up on my book at a minus 300, went down to a minus 280. Right now on Fight Night odds, he's at a minus 260 on here right here, man. So, wow. MMA Unhinged. I mean, you're down under there, mate. You're with all those people down there, mate. So you got to know something about this guy, right?
No, I'm totally opposite on the other side of the world. I'm not down under. I'm on the other side of the pond.
Oh, man, you're right, mate. So go ahead, man.
Yeah, but I do see Phil Hawes taking this fight because, he's had some sort of experience in the UFC. He's been on the Contender Series, whereas Jacob, this is his UFC debut, jitters. It's gonna pay dividends in this fight. He's gonna come out shaking, and and even though he said he's gonna feel comfortable, but if you go into your UFC debut, you're in the biggest stage of MMA. You're gonna be shaking. You're gonna be nervous. You're the uncertainty. You don't know what's gonna happen. You're going to the elite fighters of the world. This is the UFC we're talking about. This is where the elite of the elite are, and we're gonna see UFC jitters 100% for sure. We're either gonna see a great knockout from him, or we're gonna see him crumble under the pressure. And I do see Phil Hawes taking the win because he's just got that little bit more experience, and he's got that UFC kind of caliber experience in the Contender Series, fighting twice, as Millz said.
Yes, sir. I mean, so I have a little saying on this one. I know a little bit about him. My mom always told me it ain't about what you know, it's about who you know. Comes to find out, he trains with Robert Whittaker. So, I mean, has to be some type of cahoots right there. Khabib had it going for all his boys on the card before Islam got taken off, and I believe another one couldn't make weight and stuff like that. But yeah, man, I think that's just one of those home cooking favorites right there, right? So is anybody thinking about betting this?
No, I'm not. Just too many question marks with Malkoun. Like I said, I'm going to take a look at the under. If it's set at under 2.5, I like that a lot. If it's set at under 1.5, possibly. What to see the line.
Right now, I'm sorry, folks. We've been on the air now for about 53 minutes. We got 30 live people in the chat right now. I'm going to just go ahead and scroll up real quick and give the chat some love, man. I'm sorry, man. We didn't ignore you guys. We just been a little busy on this first show getting it going. So with that being said, you got Wise Rise. You got The Dawn. You got Big Zo Mega, the regular in there. You got your boy Boston Nick like regular. Mark Renegon, just my 2 cents. What's up, my man? You got Billy Brisbane, the man with all the parlays in the plays. Can't go wrong. You got Ed Reese in there. Looks like a new guy. Oh, Neil the security. Can't go wrong, man. You always need security in there. But yeah, man, we just want to give a special shout out to everybody out there rocking with us on this first show. The show is called Seconds Out. It's going to be every single Wednesday right here. We're just going over some of the predictions right now for the card, man. So moving right on along this, baby. All right, so this one comes up, not the original fight that was supposed to take place, but, Lauren Murphy's opponent, Cynthia Calvillo, had to pull out because of COVID, I believe. So now we got a new opponent. So you got Lauren Murphy coming in, 13 wins, 4 losses, versus Liliya Shakirova with 8 wins and 1 loss, looking to make her UFC debut on there. Wow, okay. A little bit of odds. So you got Lauren Murphy opening up at a -285. You got the comeback coming back on the other opponent at a +175 on this one. MMA Unhinged, I'm going to let you kick this one off first. Is there anything that you see in this fight that you like, or any plays that you want to make some money on?
Unfortunately, I'm not a betting man, but if I was to bet, I'd probably bet on Lauren Murphy, as I kind of said in the previous fight before, this. And Lauren Murphy has the UFC experience. She's fought in the UFC so many times. She's currently riding a 3-fight win streak, and she's been looking good as of late. She's ranked 4 in the division. You know, she's right up there with the best in the world. And the girl she's fighting, Liliya Shakirova, I hope I pronounced that right. I probably butchered that one. But yeah, she's an unknown. She's coming out of the ranks of, I don't know where her flag's from, but she's come from there. I think it might be Estonia? No, we got that. No, we got that one wrong. That's definitely not Estonia. Does anyone know where that's from? Oh, Pakistan. There you go. That would do. So she's come.
Pakistan.
No, Pakistan.
Yeah. Got it.
Yeah. So this is her UFC debut, and she's getting thrown right into the deep end. You know, she's fighting Lauren Murphy, ranked 4 in the division. Lauren Murphy's a few wins off getting that title shot versus Valentina Shevchenko in the 125-pound division. This is a great fight, and we're definitely gonna see man, her name's so confusing to pronounce. Shakirova. We call her Liliya from now on, but yeah, Liliya's getting thrown straight into the deep end against number 4 ranked in the division, and we're going to see Lauren Murphy use her experience, use her UFC experience. This is going to be the most important key for her in this fight, that she has UFC experience. She ain't going to feel jitters. I said that in the last fight with Jacob. He's going to have jitters. Liliya's going to have jitters, and we're going to see Lauren Murphy, you know, use her experience. She's got almost twice amount of experience as Liliya, and she's going to take home the win. Uzbekistan, yep. Uzbekistan, that would do.
Lauren Murphy, former Ultimate Fighter contender. I believe she was on the series with Eddie Alvarez versus Justin Gaethje, I believe. Me, myself, I usually love me some women's MMA. Anybody out there knows that. And if Cynthia Calvillo would have been on this original card at that -190 line that I had her at, that would have been my play for the day. So moving on from this fight, I really don't know which way to go. Lauren Murphy is a dog, though. I think that's Boston Nick's eye candy crush out there. I'm pretty sure it is. But yeah. So DFS brought the numbers, man. Ladies, women's MMA. How you see this one playing out?
Yeah, another one where I'm like curious, like why is this on the main card? But yeah, Lauren Murphy should get this done. Watching tape on Liliya Shakirova, like she looks decent. It's just the level of competition is a whole different level than the girls that Lauren Murphy has been fighting. So I do got to go with Lauren Murphy here. I actually think she's pretty solid. 37 years old, though. And Shakirova, she has some pretty good striking. She actually has really good takedowns as well. She's out there, picking these girls up on the regional scene and slamming them. And I don't expect her to do that or nothing like that to Lauren Murphy. I think Lauren Murphy could be a kind of a nice parlay piece. I'm probably not going to play it, but she should get it done. Probably by decision. Would not be surprised if she got a finish as well. Kind of interested to see what Shakirova looks like. Because she has been fighting some really questionable competition, especially earlier in her career. But now, big step up here. Big step up, UFC debut. Give me Lauren Murphy to get it done, probably very convincingly.
Yeah, man. I mean, all the money's coming in on Murphy. I mean, on my books, like I said, she opened up at a -280. Right now, she's at a -350, I believe, on the books. So definitely, if you guys were going to bet her, put her in your parlays, that would have been the time to. On the other opponent, though, I do love me some women's MMA. Oh, man. I'm just thinking. I seen the opponent look bad in one fight. Then her next fight, I seen her look great. She was just ragdogging the girl. And I always like girls who can grapple. But being 5'4", making your UFC debut against Lauren Murphy, who's pretty much a title fight away, I don't think she's going to be able to get it done. So, yep, I'm going to have to pass on this women's MMA. Moving on down the card. Wow, okay. Here we go. I mean, jinx, right? This fight was supposed to happen. I mean, who knows how many times now, man. I'm talking about Magomed Ankalaev versus Ian Cuțelaba coming in 13-1. Magomed versus 15-5. Ian Cuțelaba coming in. This fight was supposed to take place. Let's just break it down and see exactly, man. It was supposed to take place a couple of times now. Rebooked 2 times after the first fight. The first fight was stopped early in the first round after Ian Cuțelaba was pretty much playing like he was dazed on his feet, but really wasn't. And the referee stopped it, and we all was left without the fight that we wanted to see finish. So with that being said, I mean, on my book, Magomed opened up at a -280. Not bad, because all the previous other fights, he opened up at a -330. Ian Cuțelaba has money coming in on him right now at a +185. DFS by the numbers. How do you see this fight playing out right here?
Yeah, first of all, hopefully it sticks on the card for Saturday because we've been having some really bad luck with this fight. I really do want to see this fight. I mean, we saw it play out once, very controversial. Cuțelaba came out there, he acted like dazed, and the ref stopped it. Awful stoppage, but yeah, hopefully nothing like that happens again, and hopefully this fight's on. As for how the fight plays out, I don't know. I mean, -280 you said for Ankalaev. It's kind of tempting because I do think he's the much better fighter. I do think he's the more technical fighter. But man, Cuțelaba is very dangerous, and he's very dangerous, especially in that first round. And typically, if he does not get that first round finish, he's going to slow down. He's going to tire out. And that's kind of how I see this fight going, is Ankalaev is able to survive that early storm of Cuțelaba, and he definitely takes over later in the fight, probably gets a late finish or even a decision. But I don't know if I want to lay the -300 almost to, hope that he's able to survive that first round, because Cuțelaba will be very dangerous. And I was checking Cuțelaba's Instagram a couple of weeks ago, and he looks in very, very good shape. I know he had COVID and all that, but man, he looks probably in the best shape he's ever been in. Is that going to translate to the cage? Is it going to look better cardio-wise? Maybe. But yeah, I think he's first round or bust more than likely, but -300 is very steep. If you are on the Cuțelaba side, maybe look at the first round prop. Other than that, probably a big pass here. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to see how it plays out. But give me Ankalaev, probably third round knockout.
Got it. And it seems like that's what the people are picking too. 81% is going with Magomed right there. So MMA Unhinged, how do you see this one playing out in here? You going for the Green Hulk?
I'm going with the Green Hulk. No, wait, no, the Magomed Ankalaev. I'm going with him. He's on. I thought you meant him, but he's on a 4-fight winning streak, finishing 3 of them. And he's most famously his head kicks. Man, he's so good with his legs. His leg kicks are so good, and they're very underrated. We've seen him twice. That front kick up the middle. I can't pronounce the guy's name who it was against, but I know what the fight happened. But that front kick up the middle, that could shock Ian Cuțelaba, especially the way he fights. He fights like that. He bobs and weaves. That front kick can come straight up the middle and can caught him by surprise. And Ian Cuțelaba's aggression, that could be his biggest threat, or it can be his worst downfall in this fight. He could get way too over aggressive. His cardio could abandon him in the fight, as DFS said, by the numbers said. If he doesn't get him out in the first fight, Ankalaev is going to take over and probably get a finish in later in the rounds.
Got it. Nice little take right there. Man, so yeah, myself, I have Magomed. I have him in 3 parlays with them. Feel pretty comfortable. Ian Cuțelaba, I mean, yeah, he's the guy that we all like on stage, when he comes up there for the weigh-ins and stuff, paints his whole body green, yells at the opponent, would never forget what he did with Khalil Roundtree and stuff like that. But, I mean, when we actually look at, the opponents that, Ian Cuțelaba actually won against, I'll say a few names and let me know if you're impressed. He beat Jonathan Wilson. Okay. He beat Luis Del Silva. Okay. Gagomed Antolugov. Yeah, all right. Khalil Roundtree. That's the only name that I look at. I'm like, all right, that one was a decent win. But before that, his 4 wins in the UFC, I'm really not too impressed on. Like I said, I do like his tenacity that he brings in the first round and stuff like that. But skill levels here, man, we're talking about right here. And I mean, definitely, I'm all on Magomed. I just can't believe that he opened up at a -280 and all the other 2 fights he was at a -330. What changed now? That's the thing. Ian Cuțelaba got COVID. So if anything, you think, Magomed would still be around there, at those 330 numbers and stuff. So yeah, folks, I mean, right here, that looks like that's all the fights on the main card right there, right? Yeah, that's all the fights on the main card right there. So just to go over a few of the plays that we have on the main card, because I know DFS, you're gonna have to be getting out of here soon, right? All right, so let's just start real quick with the first with the main event. Khabib, you have a parlay on Khabib, correct?
Yeah, I have Khabib and Miranda Maverick in a parlay. I got it at -150.
And then MMA Unhinged, I know you're not a bettor out there, but you're on Khabib as well, right?
Yeah, I'm on Khabib, the Eagle. He's going to take over this weekend. Fly with the storm.
Got it. Yeah, I'm all on Khabib on that side as well. Jordan Griffin actually got $25 on Justin Gaethje at plus 275, I believe, with $150 coming back. So, yeah, man, everybody on the panel right here was on Khabib. You got Jordan Griffin going with Justin Gaethje out there. And then on to the co-main event, Robert Whittaker and Jared Cannonier. DFS, you didn't have a really play on this one because you didn't feel too confident in, right?
Yeah, I don't feel confident in either side there, but I don't even know if I would bet any props as well because I could definitely see this finishing, and then I can also see it going to decision. So probably just going to stay away.
Not a bad idea. And then MMA Unhinged, I already know. I think you're on the same side as me. Who do you got in this one?
Yeah, Rob's durability will be a massive factor in this fight. Cannonier hits hard. See what we've seen about Cannonier. Cannonier gets finished in his fights. He's been finished by Dom Reyes. He's been finished by Jan. So he can get finished. He's open to be getting hurt and being finished on the ground. But it's just whether Rob has got that power that Jan has or Dominic Reyes, and I don't believe he has. So he won't be able to land as much velocity as them two do because they are big boys. They're big light heavyweights. And so, yeah, I do see Jared Cannonier taking the fight, but the durability in this from Rob will be a huge, huge factor. And we're going to see if he can hold up to Cannonier's bombs.
Well said. Yeah, I mean, myself, if you guys don't know, I won money on Cannonier now for the last 3 fights. Plan on making it 4. Got him at plus money, plus 100. Hit him again at even money at minus 110. I got 1.5 units on him right there, and I feel confident in that pick right there. I definitely like what I see out of him, man. So moving on along the card, then what was the next fight after that? You have the one and only Alexander Volkov versus Walt Harris. Brady, you got to play on Volkov?
Yeah, I would have liked to get him at the line you got at -160. I probably would have played him straight there, but I do have him in a parlay with somebody else I really like in Da Un Jung. We haven't talked about him, but I think both those get it done. I got that at like a plus money parlay as well. But yeah, you got a really good line at -160. I would have loved to get it there, but I think the line's trending, the other way at this point. I think Volkov probably closes at like -200 now.
Yup, well said, man. Thank you, man. Yeah, man. I'm that guy who they say, why do you bet so early? That's why I bet so early. All right, for the people out there, man. But yeah, man, all about those lines, man. Trying to get them early, and then if it goes up, I got good value on it. If it goes down, play it again. And then who do you got in that fight, Unhinged?
Volkov, as I mentioned earlier, Volkov is a reach and length will be a massive factor in this fight. We're going to see him use his basics, use his 1-2, maybe throw I said earlier, maybe throw a knee up the middle just to surprise Walt Harris, to give him a different look. But we ain't going to see a takedown in this fight, 100%. We're going to see the boys stand up. They're going to stick to their basics, 1-2, 1-2, and we're going to see Volkov stick to his 1-2, piecing him up. I mean, he's going to circle around the cage, hit and move, and just grind a decision and win the decision.
Got it. Well said again. All right, moving on. So, I mean, on this one, we got Phil Hughes versus Jacob. Who the is that? Malkoun. I believe we're all just on Phil Hawes on that one. We're just gonna leave it at that, man. We're just taking Phil Hawes on that one. Nobody's gonna play it though. I definitely don't think that line is something playable. Minus 285 right now for a fighter pretty much making his debut off the contender series that went there twice. I will say this though, Phil Hughes, I think he lost to Marquez on the contender series, like his first time on there, right? The Cuban.
Yeah, by a highlight reel knockout. Knocked him out with a head kick. Julian Marquez. Yeah, knocked him out. Yeah, with a head kick heard around the world. Dana White, if you've seen Dana White's reaction to that, it's been around in Facebook, social media. His reaction to the Julian Marquez knockout is something to see. If you haven't watched that, go watch that because it's incredible.
Moving on along the card. And then for the women's fight, it was Lauren Murphy versus Liliya Shakirova. Damn, I murdered that last name, but it's all good. I'm going to just go ahead and say it. I believe we're all on Murphy right here. I was actually thinking about doing a little bitty play on the opponent, but nah, man, I'd just be a waste of some coffee money, man. I need to keep my venti Starbucks. So, man, yeah, you got Lauren Murphy in that one. And then the first fight to kick off the card, pretty much Magomed Ankalaev versus Ian Cuțelaba. Pretty much MMA Unhinged was on Ian Cuțelaba right there. No. He said that, but then he said, actually, no, it wasn't the Hulk. He meant Magomed, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Ankalaev.
Got it. So myself, I'm on him. I got him in a parlay at minus 280. And then you got Big Brady on him as well. So do you have a play on him, though, Brady?
On Ankalaev?
Yeah.
No, I might take a look at the inside the distance prop, but not gonna put on a parlay as of yet. Maybe if I'm doing like a Hail Mary, I'll throw him in there, but other than that, probably gonna stay away.
Cool. Hey, Brady, I mean, like I said, thanks for coming on. You know, it was a short time notice just for this predictions. We're going to keep going on down with the prelims and stuff, but I know you're a busy man. But go ahead, tell the people out there, what do you got going on? Where can they find you at? And when's your next video coming out?
Yeah, you guys can follow me on Twitter, DFS_numbers, Instagram, DFS by the numbers. You can subscribe to my YouTube, DFS by the numbers. Got a prediction video out. Going to be doing a betting breakdown, some DraftKings as well if you are interested in the DraftKings. And I know people are talking about the prelims. I'm going to give my prelims quick picks before I head out of here. Give me Tuivasa, Shavkat, Rakhmonov, Da Un Jung, Miranda Maverick, Casey Kenny, and Joel Alvarez.
Ooh, I love that last one, man. That's my play right there, Joel Alvarez. I got him at a minus 155, and nice, I like it.
Nice line there.
Yes, sir, man. Hey, like I said, thank you, man, again for joining us on this, Brady, and definitely, man, we'll be reaching out to you in the future.
All right, sounds good. See you guys.
All right, man. Yes, sir, man. That's the boy right there, man. Brady by the numbers, man. Good guy out there. Like I said, I watch a lot of people's MMA predictions. Came across his about 6 months ago. I love the information that he gives on there. He gives you different diagrams and graphs and stuff like that. Yeah, man. So, yeah, see somebody had a comment out there. What about the prelims? Yeah, we're going to move on down the prelims right now. Keep it a little bit quicker. But on that one, we just had a few people that had to get out real quick before it was too late. So moving on to the prelims now. We have Stefan Struve stepping in versus Tuivasa right here to kick off the last fight on the prelims. Stefan Struve coming in 29 wins, 12 losses. Tuivasa 10 wins, 3 losses. So go ahead, Unhinged. How do you like this fight, and who do you got in it?
Wow, this is an incredible fight. I mean, I think I've been saying this about the whole card, but this fight, top to bottom, is absolutely stacked. First fight in the evening, we've got Joel Alvarez, who's a really good fighter, and he's on the first fight of the evening. But I'll talk about the fight we're talking about now. I'll get too carried away. Stefan Struve versus Tuivasa. Tuivasa, you know, he's been struggling on the ground. You know, people have found his weakness. You know, he's not very good on the ground, but he's recently had his move to AKA American Kickboxing Team to try and, you know, stitch up his ground game, try and make it, you know, good enough. And coming up against Stefan Struve, man, this guy has brilliant jiu-jitsu, very underrated. He can submit you from his triangle chokes are incredible. You know, he's very underrated on the ground. I mean, you possibly could see Stefan Struve shoot for a takedown, or maybe try and a trip or something like that. I do see Struve taking it to the ground because, as I said before, Tuivasa on the ground is not the best. And, you know, he went to AKA to try and patch that up, and, you know, and hopefully it did work for him. And AK is, you know what they're known for, even though they're American kickboxing, but they are known for their wrestling. They got Khabib, DC, the list goes on and on and on with the wrestlers they got over in AKA, and that's why he's moved over there to try and help his wrestling. So hopefully that move to the AKA kind of helps him with the takedown defense and his wrestling offense and defense wrestling. And against Stefan Struve, he's going to need it.
Yeah, man. Good information right there. Yeah, he did make the move to AKA. I believe he only stayed there for 3 months because of the COVID and everything that happened and stuff. But yeah, I was hearing an interview with him earlier today. Actually, he was talking about his move over there, and he was saying, man, once he got there and seen the way that those guys train and fight, he knew he had to change his life. He was like, okay, whatever I was doing over here pretty much is not the same that they're doing over here. It's the reason why, it seems like they're a little bit more successful. So yeah, I mean, he was there for 3 months, moved back, I believe. So yeah, Tuivasa comes in, impressive win over Rashad Coulter, I believe, with like a flying knee, goes on a 3-win fight streak. We're all like, okay, this can be a heavyweight that, we're all going to see. Gets dropped by Junior Dos Santos, loses versus Blagina Nayev or something, I want to say. And then
Ivanov, yeah, something like
there
that.
You go. There you go. Yeah, that was it. And then after that, I mean, he comes out there and he loses to
Sergey Spivak.
Spivak? Like, come on. Like, oh, right. So, yeah, I'm not a Tuivasa fan. I'm the guy that fades him whenever he fights recently. So, on this one, he opened up at a plus 120. Stefan Struve opened up at a minus 110. So, I went ahead and put a little play on Stefan Struve because, like I said, I'm the guy who fades Tuivasa right here. I think Stefan Struve can get it done. Stefan Struve was 5 minutes away from winning against Ben Rothwell before the referee told him to just come out and fight still or something. I forgot what happened, but it didn't make any sense. He was winning the fight, and the referee said something like, well, you might as well. You're winning the fight. Comes out there and gets dropped. He got hit with like 3 or 2 low blows, I want to say. So he was up 2 rounds to none, goes out there, continues to fight and gets dropped like a sack of potatoes versus Ben Rothwell. But before that, I will say Stefan Struve, I would say he's the superior fighter in this one. Definitely should be able to get it done in this one, right?
As you said there, Tuivasa's wins in the UFC ain't too impressive. Yes, he's got a win over Andrei Arlovski, but this is an aging Andrei Arlovski. This ain't Arlovski that he was 10 years ago. This is Arlovski who's in his mid-40s, I believe. I think it's like 42, 44. A win over, and it was only a unanimous decision over Andrei Arlovski. And people who've been fighting Andrei Arlovski recently have been knocking him out cold. So that's not a really impressive win in the UFC. But other than that, he hasn't really beat anyone too notable. And when he comes up against guys who can actually wrestle, who's got a really good, well-rounded game, he struggled.
Hey, well said. Hey, you hit it on the point exactly. When he takes that step up in competition, he struggles. He looks like a fish out of water, pretty much. Bad cardio problems. I will say this: he lost some weight too, as well. By looking at him and stuff. But losing weight is only half the problem. You got to have cardio. So I mean, you can lose all this weight, but if you still have bad cardio, that's still going to play out in the fight right here. I will say, I believe he's fighting for his UFC contract and career right here, because if you're on 3 losses right here and none of them was even debatable, so you believe that he's fighting for his career?
I mean, if you're on a 3-fight losing streak, you've got to fight for your contract. I mean, if you're a Conor McGregor, maybe you can keep your contract after a 5-fight win streak, a 3-fight losing streak, because Dana loves him. But Tuivasa, Dana probably doesn't love him as much. And Ali said in the chat, he actually lost at Arlovski. He actually beat Arlovski by decision, unanimous decision. But we'll move on. But Struve is a much better ground fighter. If he gets it to the ground, it's going to be a long, long night for Tuivasa. And that's Mark Hunt. I interviewed his best mate, and I'm trying to secure an interview with Tuivasa, and I'm trying to say some good things about him. But if you're coming up against Struve, who's really good on the ground, and he gets that single leg, grabs your leg, takes you down, it's going to be a bad night for Tuivasa.
Man, you're right on that, man. I'm loving everything I'm hearing so far from these predictions and everybody that's on there, because like I said, I got to play on Struve right there. So, I definitely think he's the superior fighter in here, man. Moving on down the card. Now, this fight right here should be on the main card. I don't know why this is not on the main card. I'm talking about Casey Kenny stepping in versus Nathaniel Wood at a preliminary catch weight at 140. So definitely making a catch weight fight at 140. Casey coming Kenny coming in on a quick return, just coming back from cashing in some money on him as well. I think he fought like 5 weeks ago. 15 wins, 2 losses. Real impressive in the UFC. His only loss is, I believe, to Magomed, I want to say, in the UFC. I'm not too mad at that. Opened up at the books at a -200 favorite. On the other hand, you got Nathaniel Wood coming over here. I mean, he was supposed to be one of the top UFC prospects coming up right now from your hometown, mate, England. But it seems like had a win over Andre Ewell. That's one of the original family members right here on Pub Sports. Then I believe after that, he goes on to face the magician, John Dodson, and John Dodson showed his ass a magic trick or two and laid his ass on the floor.
Not so fast. He takes on Jose Quinones and then takes on John Dodson.
Got it. Okay. Yeah,
he starts off 3 fights in the UFC, gets 3 finishes, all by submission. Then he takes on John Dodson and gets clipped, a fight I thought he was winning until the 3rd round, and then he got clipped.
I'm with you on that one. I had money on him too, so he was definitely winning. So I got a little bit of resentment in my voice, you know. And after that loss, bounces back about 2 months ago, I want to say, against John Castaneda, making his UFC debut, wins that unanimously by decision. So go ahead, MMA Unhinged. How do you see this one playing out, and who do you got in it?
Man, this might be tough for me to say, but Casey Kenny in his last fight, oh my days, he looked the best I've ever seen Casey Kenny look. His leg kicks, he looked like a prime Barboza. He looked so good. His leg kicks were unreal. I mean, all you had to see was a few body kicks from Casey Kenny, and you saw the damage on Aleteng. I think that's how you pronounce it, Aleteng. Yeah. But man, that guy got pieced up. On the feet, Casey Kenny's kicks are unbelievable. We saw that in his last fights. He looked revamped in his last fight. We didn't really see his kicks in his previous fights, and he just came out looking unbelievable, looking like a prime Barboza. And basically, I do see, oh God, Casey Kenny taking this fight by decision, but this is going to be a really tough fight. Nathaniel Wood is durable, even though he did get finished by John Dodson, but a lot of people don't hit as hard as John Dodson. John Dodson, 135 pounder, hits about 170 pounder. He stepped up from 125, went to 135, and he hits hard as hell. But yeah, I do see Casey Kenny taking that fight. The way he looked in his last fight looked incredible.
Man, well said. I'm with you all day. Last fight, he looked incredible on there. I mean, those leg kicks. He even looked like El Guapo, I think, Chris Gutierrez, when he fought Vince Morales, I want to say, and got him out of there on those leg kicks. But, Casey Kenny came back with some more tools in his toolbox right there. We thought we seen it all. We thought, it was just a typical, jab, set up the takedown type of fighter out there. But, man, did he add some more tools to his toolbox. Just to go over some of the opponents that he has in his resume, I mean, it's pretty impressive in the UFC. And this was before the UFC. He has a win over Brandon Royval, Raw Dog. Has a win over Ray Borg, Manny Bermudez, I believe, when he was undefeated. And then, after that, loses to Merab Davlashvili, wins over Louis Smoka and Halal Aleteng. So, Casey Kenny has been impressive, and he always has a few good names right there in his resume. So Nathaniel Wood would be a good name to add to that resume right there. What possibility do you give Nathaniel Wood to win, and how would he win?
Oh, this fight is definitely a 50-50 fight. Nathaniel Wood is incredible. And I'm not saying that because I'm English. I'm saying that because he is. 3 fights, in his first 3 fights in the UFC, he gets 3 finishes. If Nathaniel Wood could take it to the ground, we don't know. If Nathaniel Wood could catch one of Casey Kenny's kicks, that Casey Kenny's kicks could come in helpful for Casey Kenny, but they also could come in at disadvantage. What happens if Nathaniel Wood catches one, takes a single leg, takes him to the ground, submits him? We don't know. This is such a great fight, and that's why I'm so interested in it.
Yeah, I'm with you 100% on this too. I just look at this fight kind of like this. Why do they have to fight now? These are 2 fighters that you want to see matched up in about a year and a half from now, when they're both picking up momentum, when they're top ranked, stuff like that. Why do you want to give one of these guys an L right now? That's the only thing I don't like. I like both of these fighters actually. I just wish that they weren't fighting each other right now, man.
Oh, 100%. They're both prospects in the division, in the 135-pound division. And the 135-pound division at the moment is absolutely stacked. I could go on forever and list the names that are in this division. We don't have enough time physically. 135-pound division in the UFC is stacked. I can't even talk. Like, it's that stacked, and it gets me so excited. And these guys, if they get a few wins under their belt, they're straight up there with the best.
All right, man. So real quick, man, let me just give some people in the chat some love, man. You got a Fight Fan, you got Eminent Hippo, another regular, you got Ed Reese, you got Neil the Security, just my 2 cents. You got Zabo in there. I see you got Ali Abdul, another regular, always here with the Pub Club. Appreciate to have you here, man. Growing up a little bit. Okay. You got Boston Nick in here. You got Valerie Marcel as well. And then I'm sorry, man. I've been on the air now for 124 minutes, and I haven't said a shout out to my boy Mo. Man, shout out to Mo, man. Mo's not able to well, actually, yeah, Mo hasn't been able to be part of the pub shows for about a week or two now. He's dealing with some family stuff right now, but definitely want to give a special shout out to the 2 people out there on Pub Sports. That's Boston Nick and that's Mo. And then the originals of it, Talking Hands. I'm talking about Slaughter and Preston out there. They do their own breakdowns that comes out every Friday. I want to say at 9 p.m. Eastern as well. So shout out to Talking Hands and everybody tune in Friday for their breakdowns on the video, man. And everybody out there, man, appreciate you guys for rocking with us on this Wednesday night right here. Moving on down the card. All right, man. You want to go ahead and introduce this next fight?
Let me scroll down a bit. Yeah, Alex Oliveira. Oh my God, Alex Oliveira versus Shavkat. I won't even try and pronounce his second name. I'm terrible with second names. But 12-0 coming in against Alex Oliveira. And what a name to get in your UFC debut. Actually, I think he's fought in the UFC. Hold on. No, this is his UFC debut. He's been scheduled to fight in the UFC 3 times and have all been cancelled. And he gets Alex Oliveira in his UFC homecoming and UFC debut. And that, what an absolute, person to get in your UFC debut. Alex Oliveira, he's been around. He's fought the best of the best. Got really some really good names under his belt. He's fought so many incredible guys. He's fought Mike Perry, Nicholas Dalby, Gunnar Nelson. The list goes on and on and on. I couldn't talk so much. I couldn't talk anything else about this guy. This guy has fought the who's who: Yancy Medeiros, Carlos Condit, Ryan DeFair, Tin Means. Man, it's incredible how many guys he's fought.
Been around, right? He's been fighting.
So I think I always say this, that I feel like if you have more experience in the UFC, it always plays a factor in their fights. And I feel like Shavkat is coming into the unknown. He's 12-0 in the outside the UFC. He's coming into his UFC debut against a really good guy in Cowboy Oliveira, and we could see Cowboy Oliveira, get a win this weekend. But Shavkat, I've heard some good things about him. I heard he's a good prospect. He's a good fighter, and I don't know what to see this weekend. This one's a bit of uncertainty, and we're going to hopefully see a good performance from either one of them.
Yeah, man, this is another fight to me. I mean, can this be on the main card instead of the Phil Hawes fight? This is an easy pencil in right here. You have a UFC veteran and Oliveira. And then you got another guy right here making his UFC debut who's been waiting to make his UFC debut for a long time. I want to say he fights in another organization. Is it M1? I believe.
Yeah.
But he has some impressive wins over there. I'll just go ahead and throw the fight out. So Oliveira opened up at a -150 favorite. The comeback was coming back on his opponent at a +135. So I had to take a shot on the dog right there, man. I'm all on the dog right there, man. Oliveira, I feel like we've seen the best of him. I feel like he's not coming out there to move up in the rankings, to challenge this guy. He's just really showing up to show up, So I see right now, I think the passion is going to be in the dog, and yeah, so I got to go with the dog on this play. I wouldn't be surprised if Oliveira could maybe, win, but nah, man, I'm all on the dog on this one. And the smart play would be fight not going the distance. I believe on my book, that's at a -115 right now. I feel pretty confident as well, man. Anybody in the chat out there, let us know who you got on this fight right here. They saying Shakirova was training with Elizai de los Santos. Okay, yeah, that's a good guy to train with, to have in his corner right there. Mr. Capoeira himself right there. And then Neil the Security says Cowboy has underrated power when it comes to grappling. Got it. You got Fight Fan. He's saying he loves the line right there. And then he's saying the dogs is definitely barking on that one. Got it. Yeah, man. So, I mean, it seems like the chat's a little bit, indecisive, but when it's like that on a fight like this, like my main cappers told me, you always want to have money on the dogs when it's like that, man.
Yeah, 100%. I took a look at Shavkat's record, and he's 12-0 outside the UFC. And a lot of people, when they fight outside the UFC, when they're warming up when they start their career, they're usually fighting guys who are like 0-1, 0-2, 0-3. But something interesting about Shavkat, he's always fought a guy with a winning record. He's never fought a guy with a losing record, and he's never fought a debutant. So he has some really, really good wins under his belt.
Yeah, see that exactly. That's what I was seeing too, a little bit off of his resume with those wins in M1. He's not one of those guys that's fighting somebody that has 7 wins and like 4 losses or anything like that. So you can't just say he's lining them up against cans right there. Oh man, so moving on down the card, we got Daniel Jong versus smiling Sam Alvey right here. I mean, the books, wow. I mean, they got Dae-Young Jung at a -300 favorite right now, 3-1 favorite. The comeback coming back on Sam Alvey right now at a +175 right here for the betting odds. I mean, how do you see this one playing out, Unhinged?
Man, I had the pleasure to speak to Sam Alvey recently, a few months ago or a few weeks ago. I can't fully remember. My schedule was all over the place at the moment, but I had a pleasure to speak to him. And he said he was disappointed with his last fight against Ryan Spann when he lost a split decision. He actually thought he earned enough that night, and he thought he should have got the nod. And that's why he said he's got to come into this fight, and he's going to lay it all on the line. He's going out there for a finish against Dan Jung.
Did he sound believable?
Yeah, he's always smiling. Obviously, that's his nickname, Smiling Sam Alvey. But this guy is convinced he needs to do it. He's been training with some really, really good guys. He's telling me who he's training with. I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, he's been training. He's working his socks off. He's been training 2 days a week. He said he's going in there. He's felt like he got robbed from his last fight, so he's going in there with some vengeance from the judges, and he's going to take it out of their hands, and he's going to finish his fight. He said to me.
I like what I'm hearing. I mean, that was a close fight, but not really. Ryan Spann was up the first 2 rounds. Sam Alvey did come back in the last round right there, but I mean, it's going to take more than 1 round to win the fight. I do believe if he had maybe 2 more minutes in that fight, he would have got Ryan Spann out of there, though, the way that 3rd round was looking, though. So, I mean, yeah, close fight in there, but I mean, we're talking to a guy right now to where it's just hard to find out where's his mind at. He has some impressive wins over his career. Nate Marquette, wow. Rashad Evans, great name. But I mean, some of the losses are just the people that you should be winning to. Kitson Abreu, you should be able to win that fight right there. So right now, it's just like we don't know what we're getting from Sam Alvey right here. On the other hand, you got Daniel Jung over here. He had an impressive win, I believe, over Mike Slow Rodriguez, who's over here looking like a top contender, to be. So I just don't know about the price tag on this one. I don't feel too comfortable parlaying them or anything like that. So, I mean, the pick is Dae-Young Jung. Yes, I'll say that. That's the fighter that should win in this fight 9 times out of 10 if they lace it up again at any time. So Dae-Young Jung would be the pick right here for the fight, but I'm not going to parlay it. I'm not going to play it or anything like that. Sam Alvey, the only thing – Ultimate Fighter alumni. What does he have? That left counter. That's it. If he doesn't hit you with that left counter, what's he gonna do? When you hit him, he's gonna look at you like, "Oh, I'm mad now. I'm gonna fight." Sorry, Sam. That's not gonna work, man. That doesn't win. So he does that all the time. And he growls his face. And, no, I'm really gonna bite down on my mouth guard and not hit you. So. Smiling Sam Alvey, man, if you can pull this one off, I'll be rooting for you. I will say that because I was a big fan of that guy when he was coming up in his career too. So Smiling Sam, man, if you can pull it off, more props. But, yeah, the play right here is going to be Dae-Young Jung on there.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Dae-Young Jung, 2 fights in the UFC, 2 finishes, 1 by a standing guillotine, and the second one, he finished the fight with a right cross and then ground and pound. But, yeah, so if you're going to bet on something, bet on a finish for Dae-Young Jung. That's probably what I would go for if I was betting.
Nice, man. Moving on down the card, I believe. So we got a women's fight on there. You want to introduce this one to him?
I've heard a lot of things about Miranda Maverick. I believe she's a former Invicta champion. And I don't know too much about them, I'm going to be honest. But Miranda Maverick was a former Invicta champion. She beat some good guys. Oh my God, beat some good girls in Invicta. She beat Pearl Gonzalez, who used to fight in the UFC, and I think she got cut between something to do with her women parts. I think it was her boobs. I think her boobs were too big. I think that was the why she got cut.
Okay. Yeah, I was actually a fan of hers when she was in there, man. She was one of the first UFC fighters I like my videos and posts, but I didn't know.
Don't hold me on that. Don't hold me on that. But I've heard reports, and that's why she got cut. But yeah, she's fighting Liliana Juja. I don't know how to say that. Liliana Juja, and she is coming off a win with an armbar against Diana. Oh, these names get even tougher. Diana Belbrita. I did that one all right, but she came off an armbar round one, looked impressive. But I think Miranda Maverick, she's a former Invicta champion. She looks kind of good outside of the UFC. She looks really good in Invicta, and I see her taking the win on the weekend.
Yeah, man. I mean, this one right here, whatchamacallit came out and spoiled my party, Liana. Yeah, I was on the other fighter in that play, and she came out and armbarred her real quick. I mean, so you got Liana Juja opening up at 8 wins, 3 losses versus Miranda Maverick coming back with 7 wins and 2 losses. Miranda Maverick was supposed to make her UFC debut, I believe, a couple of months ago. That fight got canceled, never took place. On the book, she opened up at a -320 favorite. It didn't stay that low for long. Right now, she's at a -400 favorite right now, and I'm going to just go ahead and say, yes, I mean, she has the look. She has the tenacity. She has everything we want, right? Want to know who else she reminds me of? Maria Agapova, I want to say. The other fighter that was ranked at a -2,000 favorite versus Shayna Dobson. Following me? So on this right here, I have to take a little bit of stab on Liana right here, man, to go ahead and spoil the party on her, man. I'm getting plus 265 on her right there. She pulled off that armbar last fight. So, man, I'm going to just go ahead and put a little bitty play. I'm talking about a little bitty play. When I say a little bitty play, I'm talking about what I spend on my lunch money. So it's not nothing too heavy to lose. You always got to manage what you spend and what you play. So I'm going to go ahead and take the dog on this one, man. And hopefully she can get it done. Anybody out there in the chat, man, let me know if I'm a little bit off on this one or how you guys feel, because I'm not putting Maverick in none of those parlays. Not a parlay for me with Maverick, man. And then, so just to let you guys know right now, so we have 1, 2. Oh, no. Yeah, cool. So on this one, yeah. Point blank. You're on Miranda, right?
Oh, yeah.
Got it. The pick is Miranda. Me, myself, if you guys want to feel a little bit of froggy on a dog right here, I will say that this is one of the dogs that could probably win, that has some real good value with it. If you guys want to make just a little bitty play on that, just to start off, your guys' night with a fight. Moving on to the first fight to kick off the prelims right here. This one right here. Go ahead and introduce it, MMA Unhinged. Well, actually, I'll introduce it and I'll let you take it over and run the show with it, man. So you got Joel Alvarez coming in, 17 wins, 2 losses, ranked 49, lightweight versus Alexander Volkov, 25 wins, 10 losses, coming off a loss and really hasn't really been too active in the UFC. I believe he lost to Roosevelt Roberts his last go out. And before that, I want to say he did fight at a couple of different weight classes. I believe he fought at 170 and got knocked out by Damian Maia. Shout out to MMA Prediction Guru. He sent me a video earlier on my phone showing me about it, because I told him earlier in the week I was on Joel Alvarez, so it was kind of going back and forth about it. But yeah, that's Volkov right there. Alvarez coming back. I mean, he looked real good his last outing. I think he fought about 2 months ago against Joe Duffy and opened up at a plus 225 underdog on there. So go ahead. This is the first fight to kick off UFC 254 Fight Island. How do you see it kicking off?
A very underrated fight. Joe Alvarez came into his UFC tenure at 14-1 in his MMA career. Unfortunately, dropped a loss against Asmir Azamagulov. Oh God, these names get harder and harder and harder. But then he bounced back with a 2-fight win streak. Most importantly, his last fight, an impressive win over Joe Duffy. And not many, you probably know this, but after that fight, he retired Joe Duffy. Joe Duffy retired after that fight from MMA. So yeah, his 2 wins in the UFC have come by finishes, and he has a lot of finishes on his record. And if you're going to go with someone in this fight, I would go Joe Alvarez, and primarily a finish by submission.
Loving what I'm hearing out there, and I'm loving what I'm seeing out here in the chat, man. So you got fight fans saying Alvarez by sub, Big Zomega himself saying Alvarez inside the distance, Neil the security saying based off the profile fix, he's just fading him, Alexander. So I mean, yeah, man, picks could tell a lot, man. And shout out to Rude Jude out there. He said he cashed in on the dog on the last fight. I know another person did too. My boy Marine Picks, Andy Marine cashed in on him too on the underdog against that Joe Duffy. So props out to those people out there. So yeah, I'm gonna just go ahead and kick it off. I have 1 unit on Alvarez right here, locked him up at a -155. Liked what I seen from him out there. So when it comes to it, he's one of those fighters to where we know the submission is in play, right? That's what he's pretty much gonna go to. I love that, but you know, he didn't take that route against Duffy. He looked a little bit better with his striking. So right here, I got to go all with Alvarez right here. I think that the line is going to jump up, I would say, to a -185. So if you guys were going to play it, you guys might want to play it tonight right here because, like I said, I got to play on him at a -155. And this is the first fight. This is the perfect fight to bet on, I would say, for the first fight because you don't got to lay too much chalk. And I mean, it's a confident pick in my opinion right here. So go ahead, man. Give me Alvarez to go ahead and start the night off with me for a win right there. Man,
100%. So, they're both 6'3" as well. They're both long and lengthy fighters. Joe Alvarez will get the reach advantage in this fight. That will pay a lot of factors in this fight. You know, he's got really long arms, goes for them submissions, and that's why he's got a lot of submissions in his record. He's very long and lengthy for the 155-pound division. If you're walking around and you're 6'3", 155 pounds, oof, that's incredible.
That's crazy, right? Like, think about it. Djokovic fought at 170, but honestly, they both technically, you know, should be or could be fighting at 170, right?
100%.
Yeah, man. 100% right there, man. So, I mean, yeah, that's UFC 254 right there wrapped up in a bow. So, yeah, that's all the prelims right there, man. Ran through the whole card right there. You know, had a special guest to go over some of the fights with us earlier on the main card. If you guys are just now tuning in or missed it, we had Jordan Griffin on there, Native Psycho. For all you guys out there, go ahead and give him a follow. Then we had our boy DFS by the numbers also breaking down the main card on the prelims, man. So, yeah, man, times fly when you're talking about stuff you love, right?
100%. When we're talking about UFC, I mean, I remember starting this and, you know, it was ticking. I was seeing it go 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds. Now we're at 1 hour and 42 minutes.
Right?
It's gone quick.
All right, man. Yeah, man. I hear you 100%, man. So, yeah, that's the UFC card right there, man. Appreciate everybody out there that tuned in to hear the predictions part of our video right here. This is Seconds Out MMA with MMA Locker Room. I got my boy MMA Unhinged right here. For all the people out there that don't know him, you guys need to follow this guy on Instagram and on Twitter. So MMA Unhinged, go ahead and give them your actual social media platforms.
Man, this is my moment, the time to shine. Yeah, go follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, MMA Unhinged on Twitter, MMA Unhinged 01 on Instagram, and MMA Unhinged on Facebook. We recently hit 4,000 on Facebook. We just hit 2,000 today on Instagram. Yeah, so what we do is we provide MMA daily news. Like we provide every time a fight gets scheduled in the UFC, I'll put that on my Instagram. I'm quite quick of uploading when fights get scheduled. I'm one of the quickest. And yeah, I also do Bellator. I do Bellator news. You know, I tell you when Bellator news gets announced. Like the other day, Bellator 250 co-main event. I announced it on my Instagram and my Twitter and my Facebook. I just upload all the daily news of scheduled fights and etc. And I also do interviews on my YouTube, MMA Unhinged on YouTube. I've on my YouTube I've got interviews with Mark Hunt, Fabian Edwards, Mike Grundy, Nathaniel Wood twice, Brad Pickett twice. The list goes on and on and on. I would be here forever if I could list the amount of names I've talked to. So that's me, yeah.
Yes, sir, man. Hey, and all right, so the cat is out the bag officially. A lot of people want to know, man, who does MMA Locker Room? Where's his sources from? Where does he get all these news and updates from? It's my boy MMA Unhinged right here, man. We've been pals now on Instagram now for about 5 to 6 months, chatting about everything, keeping everything in the same circle. So, yes, man, this is one of my closest sources that I get for a lot of my fights that get broke. So, yes, sir. Now the cat's at the bag, man. MMA Unhinged. He's the man.
100% on the man.
So let's get into it, man. I love talking about news because this is kind of what we're all about right here, man. We're gonna be breaking some news. So we're gonna start off with some new signings to Bellator. We got a lot of people that's leaving UFC. Some are coming to the Bellator arena. We're just gonna start off with one. I was a little bit surprised about it. I'm talking about Brett Johns, the guy who beat Montel Jackson, the top prospect, is now signed to Bellator. Tell us a little bit more.
Man, Brett Johns is phenomenal. He's beat some of the best guys in the 135-pound division, but he's lost to the guys who have going to fight for titles. He's lost to Aljamain Sterling. He's fighting for a title soon. He's going to be fighting Peter Yan. So his losses against really, really good guys. I can't remember off the top of my head who his other losses against. I need to search that up. But yeah, he's 17-2 in MMA. He's a really, really good fighter, and Bellator have snatched up an absolute worldie with him.
All right, man, this signing right here. So, okay, this isn't one of those signings to where I'm on the down row of my career. I won one fight, lost one. What's going to happen? I can't really never win the belt. I'm not a big name in the division. To me, this ain't one of those signings. This reminds me a little bit about when Benson Henderson went to Bellator. He was right at that stage of his career to where he could have kept going up a little bit higher. So where Bellator, this is a big signing for him for me, because this isn't somebody who's done, and this is somebody that I think that actually can make a run in Bellator.
Oh, 100%. His two losses have came to guys who are phenomenal. Pedro Munoz, Aljamain Sterling, them two are guys, elite fighters. They're in the UFC top 10. And if you're in the UFC top 10, you're one of the best in the world.
And I know this signing right here was a little bit back, but we're just gonna retrace a little bit. And I'm talking about top light heavyweight contender, ranked 5th in the world, I want to say. Corey Anderson signed to Bellator. Let's just go a little bit deeper with that though. Get signed to Bellator. Melvin Manhoff was supposed to have a fight 2 weeks ago. Something mysteriously happened and the fight didn't happen. And the next thing you know, the next day, Corey Anderson versus Manhoff, right?
Yeah, pretty much. The fight fell out in like a matter of 4 hours. Within the day of the fight, Melvin Manhoff was scheduled to fight his opponent, and then the news broke out that he's been pulled from the fight, but there wasn't a reason given from that. And I presume now the reason was Corey Anderson. Go on mute.
That's a good enough reason right there, man. That's a good enough
100%.
reason right there. Man,
And
so
Corey
yeah,
Anderson, as you said earlier, top 5 in the world. He was top 5 in the UFC. He's got recently come off a loss against Jan Blachowicz. Look where he is now. He's the UFC light heavyweight champion. Corey Anderson is an incredible fighter to have on the Bellator roster. And at the moment, the light heavyweight division over in Bellator making waves.
Yeah, so I mean, you see what I'm kind of saying? Like, these are two signings to where they're not at the bottoms of their career at all. They can go to Bellator and literally make names and become champions, So I definitely see that right there. And Corey Anderson definitely had the short end of the stick. That's my boy, Boston Knicks boy out there. I believe he had an interview with them as well on another network. So shout out for that. But yeah, man, Corey Overtime Anderson officially signed to Bellator. I would say those are the top 2 Bellator signees within the last 2 to 3 months per se, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. You do have the likes of Jalen Willis. He fought a few weeks ago against what was meant to fight.
No. He was supposed to fight against
Patricio Pitbull.
Yeah.
And on the night of that fight, within a few hours, actually, I was actually covering that event for my MMA News. And then it came out, the commissioner came out that Patricio Pitbull will not be fighting because something to do with a condition that he has. I can't remember the condition, but yeah, he got pulled from the fight. He actually had symptoms of that condition a few days, but he still wanted to fight. You know, he wanted to fight. He was a warrior, and for that I have to respect him. But he was scheduled to fight that night against Patricio Pitbull, but he also missed weight. That was a factor. He missed weight for that fight, and I'm still excited to see his debut in Bellator.
Yep, got it, man, got it. So I mean, yeah, that's Bellator right there in a sense. And then I mean, Bellator just had an event. I believe you said you was covering it. That was a Cyborg versus, I forget the last name, but yeah, my boy Curtis. Okay, yeah, my boy Curtis Millender was supposed to fight on that card versus Joe Schilling, but that fight got pulled because Joe Schilling had a negative COVID test that came to find out was a false positive. So yeah, that fight got scrapped on that card. Then I believe, yeah, the Pitbull fight, that fight got scrapped on that card right there. Cyborg went out there and pretty much just dominated in debut. Yeah. And that's big props to her for showing that ground game and pulling off that submission.
Oh, 100%. She looked incredible that night. Blanco came in, talked a big game, said she's going to meet Cyborg with her pressure, her aggression, her boxing. But Cyborg was like, yes, you've got boxing, but I've also got jiu-jitsu. I've got wrestling. She takes her down, controls her on the ground, finishes her on the ground. Impressive performance. But I do say that she wants that rematch with Amanda Nunes. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. Dana White, you know, he's not keen on the cross promotion fights between Bellator and UFC. And I don't blame him. I wouldn't be either.
Yeah, man. No, not at all. Not right now. When you're at the top of the food chain, that's only going to get them notoriety. You know, so right now, like before, you know, I would say, yeah, I would love to see it. You know, that reminds me of like the old Pride days and Strike Force and stuff like that. And, you know, back when it was real fighters, you know, they would just fight. But yeah,
when Chuck Liddell went over to Pride and fought in Pride tournaments, yeah, man.
Rampage Jackson, Chuck Liddell went over there, you know what I mean? And that was martial arts right there, and that's fighting right there. You got to see how you compete when you go across the world, you know. And I remember Chuck Liddell getting knocked out across the world or something. And I'm talking about, man, these were the days of Alex or Overeem walking down there with like a axe on or something, you know, the axe murderer and stuff. So yeah, man, those were some good times right there, man.
Yeah, 100%. It was crazy. I'm not old enough to watch them live, but man, I've gone back and watched them tapes. It's so incredible to see Nick Diaz fighting high in Japan in Pride against Takamura Gomi. What an incredible fight. If you haven't watched that fight, go watch the Diaz versus Takamura Gomi. What an incredible fight. As you mentioned there, UFC fighters would go over to Bellator. Some had success, but then it was good. UFC brought out Pride. Then they discovered fighters like Dan Henderson. He went on to become a UFC champion. So yeah, it was good for the both of them. And you know, there's some talent in international talent that UFC need to discover, and they done that with Pride. They sent their fighters off to Pride, and then they realized that Pride fighters are really, really good.
Yeah, man. And then, I mean, in the week before that, I mean, we had Bellator in Paris. We had Czech Congo versus Timothy Johnson in the main card. Then you had MVP versus Houston on that one. I mean, I'm going to just go ahead and talk about those two fights right there. So I got MVP when they opened up at a -230. That line was crazy to get him because he hopped all the way up to a -500 before the fight night. But wow, I mean, that was a close fight right there. I mean, MVP really had to wrestle and grapple and show what he can do to win that fight in 15 minutes. Did you watch that fight?
Oh, 100%. I had to watch it because I had to answer some questions in 10 minutes, 15 minutes after his fight. But yeah, it wasn't the most impressive performance from both men. But the first round we saw, I actually thought Ross Houston took the first round. Ross Houston came out there, took MVP down with a single leg, controlled him for the remainder of the round for 2-3 minutes. But then the second round, third round, we saw Ross Houston hesitant to engage. You know, the length of MVP was a major factor, and his unorthodox. He's so unorthodox. You don't know what he's going to throw at you at times. You know, he's feinting, he's jumping away, and then after the fight, MVP said that the canvas was really slippery. So you know, he couldn't get his game working. He couldn't bounce like his traditional way, how he likes to bounce, his karate style, bouncing, kickboxing way.
It's Wonder Boy Thompson type of style that he does. That makes him
he said he couldn't do that because the canvas was slippery, and that kind of put him off, and so that's why we didn't see the best performance of MVP that night.
Man, I mean, I'm gonna be honest though. I actually like what I did see, because I seen to where if it's a tough fight, he can still do what he needs to pull it off. You know, 100%. So I will say this, like that showed a little bit of different grit that we didn't really know that MVP had, you know, when he's trying to get taken down after takedown, and he's actually shooting for a takedown on him. So I will say, like, yeah, I actually liked, even though he was taken into the waters and it was close fight, I actually like to see that out of him, because we haven't seen that at all out of MVP.
And it showed adaptability. If something you're not prepared for goes wrong in the cage, you got to adapt straight away. And we saw that from MVP. The canvas was slippery. He adapted. He went to a more traditional boxing stance, and you know, he adapted his stance and got the win that night. It wasn't impressive, but he still got the win. That was all man's.
Yep. And then, I mean, in the main event right there was a rematch of Czech Congo versus Timothy Johnson. I had to play on Timothy Johnson at plus money. I believe it was 125. Looks like he won by split decision. So, yeah. What'd you think about that fight right there on the main event?
This was a close fight. This is a rematch, a grudge match. Timothy wanted this one. Timothy fought the first one. You know, I can't remember what happened. Something happened. Then he got knocked out. But this fight, he looks better. He looks rejuvenated. He's on a 3-fight win streak after beating Congo. He knocked out Matt Mitrione and Tyrell Fortune. And I know you like your parlays.
I remember that one, man. Oh, man, he was plus 450 or 500 against Tyrell Fortune on that one.
Ooh, he was a huge underdog against Tyrell Fortune. And if you're a better man and you bet on Timothy Johnson against Tyrell Fortune that night and he won, oh, my God, you would have been balling. Yeah, so he's on a 3-fight win streak now, and he looks rejuvenated. He's put himself into a title contending shot. He could fight for the belt next, if not the one after.
Yeah, I mean, he looked good against Matt Mitrione, won money in there too. So yeah, definitely, man, I agree 100%. And then the week after that, I'm gonna just go ahead and say, man, I'm a fan of this guy, man. James Gallagher versus Eleanor right there, man. That took place right there. James Gallagher comes out there, I mean, gets it done. You know, submission in there, rear naked choke. James Gallagher, like it or hate it, all his antics and stuff, the little mini Conor McGregor. I'm a fan of this guy, man. He is vicious with his jiu-jitsu. He's vicious with his wrestling, and he can strike. Don't take him for granted. You know, he just needs to get that rematch on Ricky Bandejas, I believe, and just, you know, fix that up. But what'd you think about that card?
Yeah, James Gallagher put on a performance of his life. He showed there's levels to this game. Cal Eleanor wasn't on his level. That's what it was. This was a grudge match. This fight has been leading for years, almost 2 years. This fight has been in the making. They've been scheduled for, I think, like 3-4 times, and it's always fell out. This fight was, you know, built up so good, and James Gallagher led up to expectations, went in there, finished Cal Eleanor, and showed that they're a level to this game. As Corey Anderson said, there's levels to this game. Yep, and James Gallagher showed that.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's just recapping the last 2 Bellator events too, because like I said, here, man, we cover it all. I'm not UFC racist at all. To me, I love all MMA. I love LFA, you know, because LFA is where all the people come at before they get there. So yeah, man, that's Bellator right there in the bow. So I mean, you guys got the new signings from Bellator. Now let's move on over to UFC. I mean, we got some new signings right here. Man, one that I've been waiting for, one that I was just waiting for this guy to come over. I'm talking about Michael Chandler coming over to Bellator. The main dog is here. Not just that, he's in UFC Abu Dhabi right now, making weight just to be a replacement for this championship fight. Man. Michael Chandler is finally in the UFC. This seems like something that everybody's been waiting for, right?
100%. It shows you the balls on Michael Chandler to come in as an alternate in your UFC debut. If someone falls out, you're getting Khabib. If Khabib falls out, you're getting Gaethje. If Gaethje falls out, you're getting Khabib. These two men are probably the most dangerous men in the UFC. Khabib and Gaethje, they're the most dangerous in the 155-pound division. And the balls on this guy in his UFC debut goes in there and says, "Yeah, I'll be alternate 100%." And then if one of them falls out, he steps in. I'm still not complaining.
Yeah, 100%. I'm with you on that, man. And Michael Chandler, I'm just a big fan of this guy. I mean, I remember his fight versus Will Brooks in Bellator. That one was a war.
Throwing it back.
That one was a war, right? Like,
And Will Brooks was good in Bellator, man. That guy was insane in
Bellator, man. Man, who are you telling, man? I remember him coming to UFC from Strikeforce, I want to say. And I'm like, all right, I could get behind this guy, going for it. And then lackluster displays in the UFC, moves over to Bellator, though, and then pretty much, yeah, man. So Will Brooks, man, shout out to him. Last I heard of him, he was fighting in like some Chinese league or something. Like I think a year ago I seen or something, man. I gotta find out about him. But yeah, man, Michael Chandler, man. Then he comes out, fights against Benson Henderson. We all know how those went just previously. But this is a guy to where he was the face of Bellator. He is the face of Bellator, if you ask me. He got to the point to where instead of offering him another contract, Bellator didn't even offer him a contract. I guess they said, like, yeah, go out there, see your options, So he took that as blatant disrespect. So with that being said, I mean, he went out there, got his feet wet, and yeah, man, welcome to the UFC. I still remember I DM'd him a couple of months ago when I knew that he was becoming a free agent. Said, man, you need to do it to yourself. You deserve it, man. Come on over to UFC. Hit me back something like, yeah, we will see. Save that. I can't wait to post that now in his first fight at UFC. But yeah, man, I'm a big fan of Michael Chandler right here, man. That's a big signing right there. Another big signing. I mean, I'm a fan of this guy right here. 2 division weight champion in 2 different weight classes. Coming from Cage Warriors. Just got signed this week. And I will say this, I found out about it on my Twitter from a guy named Jack Attack MMA. So shout out to Jack Attack MMA. But I'm talking about Mason Jones from the Cage Warriors is in the UFC. For the people out there that's saying who, what, where, when, MMA Unhinged, tell them a little bit more about Mason Jones.
Mason Jones, as you mentioned there, 2 division champion in Cage Warriors. He fights at lightweight and welterweight, but he usually fights at lightweight, and then he steps up to 170 pounds to fight Adam Proctor. Knocked him out in round 1. This guy is absolutely sensational. He's a really good fighter. He's fought some really good regional fighters. As I said there, Adam Proctor, Joe McLaughlin. I won't pronounce that one. Casper Formelia. He's fought some really, really good sides outside the UFC, and all these fights have come into the Cage Warrior promotions. And if you come a champion in the Cage Warriors promotion, you're destined to get to the UFC.
Yeah, they have another guy over there that I need to see come to the UFC. I'm talking about Patty Taylor. Wait, what is it? What's his name? What is
Pimblett.
it? Patty Kimblin. Pimblett. Yes. Yeah. The long-haired guy looks like the original bro from WWE. Yeah, man. I need him in the UFC, man. I bet on him. I think it was when UFC was in Hoax, where there's no fights going on and stuff. Paid a heavy price tag for him. But yeah, man, I definitely want to see that guy transfer over to the UFC too as well.
Yeah, his character and energy is absolutely incredible. He was meant to fight Ultimate Fire alum Joe Giannatti. Joe Giannatti came over, I think it was 7 pounds over the 155-pound limit, and that fight was scrapped. But that would have been a good fight. I'd like to see them run it back. Joe Giannatti is a very capable fighter, and he's
former UFC fighter, Ultimate Fighter guy. You talking about?
Yeah. He used to fight in the Ultimate Fighter.
Like the gap teeth and the chest hair and all that, right?
Yeah, I interviewed him a few weeks back. We talked about the situation, and he said his thoughts, and he said he was prepared to fight, but Paddy Pimblett wasn't because of the weight. And Paddy Pimblett said that he didn't want to fight Joe Giannatti because Joe Giannatti didn't enter the sauna after he missed weight, and that was a sign of disrespect. So he scrapped the fight.
Yep, and then I mean, That's one from the Cage Warriors right there. I mean, we have a few fighters that came before that, like Jack Shore. You guys might be familiar with. But we also have a new girl that just came up and made her debut on a Contender Series and only had 4 fights in the Cage Warriors. I forget the name, but
oh god damn.
Fought in the Contender Series, got a contract off of it, only had 4 wins. She was a heavy underdog too as well. Can't be doing this to me right now. Why am I going to brain freeze?
Give me 2 seconds.
But
I'll give me 2 seconds and I'll get out.
All right, yeah, but yeah, man. So Cage Warriors, definitely for you guys out there, who's not aware of it, you guys definitely might want to get your eyes on it, because some of these fighters, when they come into the UFC, I'm gonna be looking to cash in and make plays on them. That's definitely one right there. Mason Jones, I'm trying to tell you, man, this guy, 2 different weight class champion right here. Definitely his time is due for the UFC. While you're looking up that last person, I'm going to just go ahead and give some people in the chat some love. You got Noel S. Shout out to Noel S. You got your boy Neil, the security, still holding it down in here. You got your boy Boston Nick in there. You got your man Mo. My man Mo. You got Just My 2 Cents. Mystic Sosa, my man. Another regular from all the pub channels as well. Biggs Omega. Everything like that, man. Yeah, we're just winding down the night right now. Just giving you guys some recap of news of signees and stuff like that that's going on in MMA right now. Some stuff you guys might not know about.
Corey McKenna.
Okay. And who did she fight in the Contenders? Was it
Vanessa Demopoulos? Oh god.
Okay.
That was on the same card as Adrian Yanez.
Oh yeah. Adrian Yanez. Nice. With that being said, I mean, let's just roll on over. I mean, let's break a few fight announcement right now. Adrian Yanez, I believe he has a fight coming up, right?
Yeah, he does.
You just broke 2 days ago.
Oh my god, I break so many fights. Sometimes I can't even remember what I break.
My man.
I'm trying to find out the fight, but yeah, I think he stepped in. Someone stepped in his short notice to fight him. Wait,
yes.
He was scheduled to fight Aaron Phillips, I believe.
There you go. You're on.
And I can't remember who he's fighting now.
All right, let me see real quick. Yeah, I mean, so he just stepped in right now on a short fight replacement. And this is the same guy that just fought on the Contender Series, I believe, right?
Yeah, he fought on the same card as Corey McKenna a few months ago.
Let me. Is this the guy who didn't get the contract though? Was that the guy who everybody thought who should have got a contract? That didn't though, right? Or no? Did he get the contract, Adrian Yanez? Because I think that was the guy who didn't get the contract where everybody thought he should have got a contract. But enough about that. So yeah, Adrian Yanez is stepping up to fight Victor Rodriguez October 31st on Halloween. Another good card right there for Halloween right there, man.
100%. Adrian Yanez looked good in these Contender Series fight. I think, as you said there, didn't get the contract. I can't remember too much about his fight, but yeah, some really good fights been scheduled in the UFC recently, but a lot have gone unnoticed. A lot of people have been. We got the likes of Justin Taffer. He's fighting Carlos Felipe. That's an incredible fight.
Man, Carlos Felipe, the FU guy, I'm gonna just beat you up and spank you versus De Castro, right?
Yeah, against Jorgen De Castro. Points him out 30-27, 30-27 on all cards. Wins that fight unanimously, and now he's got a really tough fighter in his hands against Justin Taffer, who Jorgen De Castro knocked out.
Yeah, I mean, another good fight. I mean, Halloween got scary with Kevin the Trailblaze Holland versus Magomed Muradov, I want to say, on October 31st. That's going to be a definite banger right there, man. I've been banking on my boy Kevin Holland all year, so I'm going to just keep it going with them on that one.
Yeah, 100%. Krzysztof Jotko actually got out of that fight. And Kevin Holland is stepping in at short notice, and he's now fighting Magomed Muradov. You probably pronounce that much better than me. But yeah, he's a guy who likes to step in at short notice. We've seen him do it before. We've seen him get wins. He like Angela Hill. Him and Angela Hill like to step in at short notice, get them wins. It kind of it lets them be active. In his last fight, he got a draw against Darren Stewart from England as well. And yeah, he's got a draw, and that stopped a halt to his UFC win streak. I think he was on a 4-5 win streak, I believe. Oh, mate, no, I don't think he was. I'm not too sure. But yeah, Darren Stewart got a draw against Darren Stewart. Darren Stewart is an incredible fighter. They're both incredible fighters. They both did want to run it back.
You sound a little biased.
No. Darren Stewart is a really good fighter. You know, he's got good wrestling to be fair to him, and then he's striking. He's got good power. But Kevin Holland is a really good fighter as well in his own right. You know, he's lengthy. We saw him knock out Joe Buckley, the new star of Fight Island.
Man, yes, sir. Joe Quinn Buckley.
He's got a fight. He's fighting Jordan Wright in November 21st.
Yes. That's going to be a good fight too. Quick turnaround for him, man. He's definitely get rewarded though. I will say this: shout out to Joe Quinn Buckley. He's a guy that's still working at Walgreens right now with the UFC contract, still working at Walgreens. So shout out to him, man. Another fight I like on there, man. I'm talking about Marlon Moraes versus Rob Font. That just got announced too. That's going to be fire. That's December 19th. How do you like that?
I do feel like it's a bit too early for Marlon Moraes after getting knocked out against Corey Sandhagen. But nonetheless, the fight is incredible. Rob Font is an incredible fighter. Only has losses against, you know, really good guys. We've seen him fight really high-level caliber fighters that come up short. And he gets another step up in competition against Marlon Moraes. We get to see how he compares against the fighters in the 135-pound division. The 135-pound division is probably one of the most stacked in the UFC at the moment. It's incredible, top to bottom. That you've got names that fulfill me with excitement. I absolutely love the 135-pound division.
I hear you. I mean, like I said, I'm not racist about UFC. So let's get on to some Bellator. I'm talking about Henry Corrales versus Brandon Gritz. Henry Corrales, to me, I believe he did enough to win versus Juan Archuleta. Was it? Yes, I was at that fight. There we go. It was Juan Archuleta. I believe he did enough to win. I was so surprised when Juan Archuleta hopped on the ring and threw up his arms, and everybody in LA went crazy and booed him, and he still won the fight. So yeah, man, this fight right here is going to be a good one, man. Henry Corrales versus Brandon Gritz. This one is booked for Bellator 250 coming up.
100% co-main event. Henry Corrales went on a 5-fight win streak, beating Aaron Pico, knocked him out, then faced Darren Caldwell, lost the decision, and then obviously you mentioned there, lost the decision against Juan Archuleta, and that was a controversial decision. But the guys he's lost to, you know, are really good guys. Darren Caldwell, Juan Archuleta, Patricio Pitbull, Emmanuel Sanchez, Daniel Strauss. These guys have made it to the top of the Bellator division, so there's no shame in them losses.
Nah, not at all, man. Not at all. And one thing I always try to tell people, man, there's no shame in a loss if you're a winner. You know, 100%. So just keep that in mind, y'all out there.
You're a winner. You're a winner as soon as you step inside the cage.
There you go, man. That's another thing. That's a jewel right there. Drop that on to your kids. Thank me later. But, yeah, man. One more fight to announce. OSP versus Jamal Hill taking place on December 9th, I believe. OSP coming back after that impressive knockout win over Alonzo Manfield. Jamal Hill looking impressive as hell against Kitson Abreu, and then getting popped for smoking weed and get suspended for 6 months. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But yeah, man, what do you think about that one?
Jamal Hill getting a step up in competition, OSP, but OSP is definitely a beatable guy for Hill. You know, Hill was a very incredible fighter, 8-0 in his pro MMA career, as you said there, come off an impressive win against Kitson. Abreu knocked him out, I believe. Yeah, he knocked him out with a body kick, then a ground and pound. But yeah, he's a really incredible fighter. As soon as I saw him come into the UFC against Darko Stokozic, I was like, this guy's got some talent. He's got a future ahead of him. He's definitely a prospect. He looks really good in the UFC octagon, and he's got a really good step up in competition in OSP, and it's a sensible one. You know, the UFC are not rushing him, and I like that because OSP is a guy that he can definitely beat, but he will get given a challenge from OSP, and we're going to see how good he can make it.
Yeah, man, it's special. Yeah, definitely, man. Those are a few fight announcements right there, man. I want to give another shout out, man. We're supposed to be joined by two other gentlemen. Something happened; they couldn't make it here, so I want to say a special shout out to Fight Night Picks, Craig over there, and then my man Armando over there on Instagram and too, man. One of the best MMA aficionados out there, man. So special shout out to those two people. I couldn't make it for the show right here, man. So yeah, man, this is coming to the last parts of the show right here. You know, we kicked it off about two hours ago. Went through UFC 254. Had a special guest on here as well, you know, so that went well. Then we went on and just broke down a lot of news for you guys, telling you guys about some up-and-coming fights and stuff like that as well, man. So it's coming to that time, man. I want to send a special shout-out to everybody out there in the chat right now. We got all the way up to 32 live people in the chat. You know, definitely a lot more people are going to watch this after it gets posted. If you do, please hit that like and subscribe. This is all brought to you by Pub Sports Radio right here. Don't just check us out on YouTube. Check out the website, pubsportsradio.com. On myself, I'm MMA Locker Room. That's MMA Unhinged right there. I want to let you guys know this, though. This is what we plan on doing next week for you guys, so you guys can maybe join the chat too. We're going to have a thing that we like to call Remember the Fight, where we're going to be talking about a classic fight that took place that everybody can just recap and talk about for like 10 minutes and stuff. So next week, the fight is going to be a women's fight. I'm going to go ahead and let MMA Unhinged introduce and who's it going to be.
It's going to be Weili Zhang versus Ajana Jacek, an absolute war, a fight of the year contender in 2020. And this fight, mate, I can't wait to watch it 3-4 times within a week this week.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, yeah, man, everybody out there in the chat, next week, we're going to be talking about that fight right there. So definitely rewatch it a little bit. So when we're all talking about it, you know, you guys can chime in too. And, you know, who knows? We might have another special guest. We might not. You know, we'll just see what we can work out in the meantime, man. So, yeah, appreciate everybody out there rocking with us, man. Everybody on Pub Sports, man. I'm gonna just go ahead and name them, man. Shout out to Slaughter, shout out to Press. That's the Talking Hands duo. Shout out to Boston Nick. Shout out to my man Mo. He's one of the best hosts here on Pub Sports Radio. Shout out to Razor Sharp Picks. Shout out to Connor Mack. Shout out to Ian Cameron. And shout out to Jose. And shout out to the whole Pub Club chat club, man. Wouldn't be here without you guys, man. We just made this 2 hours move by and look like it was 30 minutes.
100%. This is 2 hours and 15 minutes. It feels like 5 minutes.
And then, for the people out there. All right, watch this for the little flip on it. I'm on California time. It's 8:27 right now. MMA Unhinged. What time are you on and what time is it right now? 4:29. It's 4:30 in the morning in England. Wow. That's what I love to see, man. This guy's up at 4:30 in the morning talking MMA to all the American fans out here in the United States, man. Shout out to you for that and all the people out there in England as well, man.
This is what I've got this. That's what it was.
That's what it was, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, real quick, where can the people find you at on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube?
MMA Unhinged on all social media, except from Instagram. On Instagram, with MMA Unhinged 01. I'm still working to get that tag. I need to get it. I need to email him, man. It really, really puts me off that I have 01 on the end. I need to get MMA Unhinged.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Yep, that's how it is right here. So yeah, myself, you already know this is MMA Locker Room. You can catch me out on Instagram at MMA_Locker Room. You can catch me out at Twitter. Just one word, MMA Locker Room. Go ahead, the 11 people that's still on the chat or the people that's listening, send me a follow, send me a shout out. Let me know you was rocking with the show. You know, we definitely appreciate it, and I'll give you guys some love on the next one, man. But yeah, where you can catch me at? You can catch me on Pub Sports Radio. You can catch me on there tomorrow night, Thursday, with the boys, Boston, Nick, and Mo, breaking down Thursday night football. Then after that, you can catch me on there Saturday, breaking down UFC 254 with the whole squad. So, yeah, man, Saturday it really goes down. We're going to be covering our live bets. All right, let me just put this out there real quick for the people. I don't got to put it out there, but I'm going to just recap on how I did last week. It wasn't too well. I'll just say it like that. Didn't do too good, but you know, it's always good to let the people know the truth and everything. So yeah, didn't do too well on my fighters, didn't do too well on my underdogs. I did hit about 4 or 5 pops, but you know, overall wasn't a successful night. So you know, I'm looking for this week to recap. So definitely look out for your Bet Your Lunch Money segment coming out, or else your Bet Your Beer segment coming out too. And then one other thing, man, I want to give a special shout out to my sponsor. If you guys are looking for the clothing that I'm wearing, it's Bitch I'm High, you know, spelled like this, not the other way. But you guys can go ahead and check out that website right there. They're the ones who keep me all fresh and clean, looking like this, looking like $1 million bucks. And but yeah,
looking like a snack.
There you go, man. It's called Bitch I'm High. You know, you just wear this, and what more you got to say, man? All right, man. So yeah, so you guys know the title of the show is Seconds Out. You know, so we'll see you guys same time, same week. Well, not same week, but shit. We'll see you guys same time, same place next week. You already know how it is from here. Want to give a special shout out again to everybody in there. Everybody make them money. And I'll see you guys. Leave some likes and comments if you guys are rewatching it. And honestly, man, we're just doing this for you guys for the love of it. So if you guys love MMA and, you know, you guys just want to get all the insights, not just predictions and stuff. We're talking about fighter updates. We're talking about things that they're doing leading up to the fights. This is where you need to be. pubsportsradio.com. Hit the like and subscribe. We out.
Thank you.